Heavyweight is a word synonymous with the most iconic of boxing history. Where colossal titans collide in the ultimate test of speed, stamina, power, and endurance.
If you know the words. And I knew if I had my chance, I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widow bride. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died.
But our guys would fuck them all up. Fuck them up bad, too. The baddest men on the planet do battle within the confines of mixed martial arts, where techniques may vary, but dominance is irrefutable.
We just got tired of doing what you told us to do. That's a brace, boy. Yeah, that's a brace, little man. Break it down.
But, it seems like heavyweight is losing momentum. Now, I really don't blame the athletes. I'm not gonna sit here and make a hit piece. I think that's stupid, but there are some things that we can't really ignore. It's not just the disastrous Miocic-Jones fight. It's not even the Jones title run, necessarily. It's a lack of depth. Why do we have 29 guys in the entire division? 29 active heavyweights. That is pitiful. There are more fighters inside the top 15 than there are outside the top 15. That is effing insane. A lack of quantity in the heavyweight division means that the next wave coming up will be in high demand. But before we look at who these people are, how they fight, and how good they are, let's look into some raw data that I've compiled. The number of heavyweight prospects in the entire world is just 87. And now this was through hours and hours of searching promotions, searching recent fights. I really put in the work to find out, that these guys exist. There might be some that I missed. I mean, there has to be, right? I didn't include guys that were in the UFC already, so you could put Talisi, Teixeira, and a few other guys. I mean, the UFC doesn't even have a lot of heavyweight prospects. But Teixeira, I mean, maybe a few other guys you could consider prospects in the really big leagues. They're not going to be on the list. We're going to be focusing on the raw, gritty, new talent that is coming up right now in MMA. And the fight footage, it may not be the highest quality. I'm going to try my best to find footage, break down these guys technically. Let's look where these guys come from. Now, upon first inspection, you can see United States is in first place with 24 active heavyweights. I mean, that's really good. A lot of countries, the majority of countries, only have one representative. As you can see, you got some surprises in there, like 3 from Arabia, 3 from, where is that? Africa. I mean, that's not really a surprise. Cameroon, Senegal, they have some bigger fighters. But I'm kind of shocked by Uzbekistan. Why does Uzbekistan have so many? Why does Brazil only have 6? Some of this stuff is just a little bit shocking. I thought Brazil would be ahead of us. I thought there'd be a lot of big guys in Brazil because there's a lot of fighters in Brazil in general. Russia at 11, it's not shocking. But there are some guys, I didn't expect a Korean heavyweight to be coming up. Didn't expect these Uzbekistani guys, obviously. Didn't expect, what was that other country? Yeah, India and Bangladesh both have heavyweights right now. That's crazy. So, okay, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Mexico too, Argentina, they got some, they're not known for the heavyweights, but we'll see. This is where it gets a little bit tricky because if we just shift how this data is collected, you can see that we are a little bit worse for wear. This gives us a much better idea of the actual heavyweight scene. North America is doing very well. Okay, we got a lot of guys coming up right now. I would say more talented guys coming up right now than maybe the last 10 years. It's been a while. But Canada only gave us 1 fighter. Mexico gave us 1 fighter. I mean, 26, that's okay. But this is, and we don't really do Brazil versus, I mean, whatever. This is where we kind of get our ass kicked. This is where Europe, Russia, Asia has the advantage. Russia, Europe, border Asia. Europe, 36. They got 36 prospects. Just prospects. 10 from Asia. Okay, Africa and Middle East and Australia, other than Francis, they're not really known to have super high level heavyweight contenders, but that's fine. That could change, whatever. This is where Europe has the advantage. Because of promotion, we don't have ACAs in America. We have PFLs, which, we have PFLs, but we don't have ACAs. We don't have places where heavyweights can just go and fight for money and don't go to the UFC. There are a lot more regional heavyweights in Russia, in Asia, in Europe than in America. So what happens to these prospects is they fight a couple of, guys who go in maybe to lose, maybe to win, who knows, but, not the most high-level competitors, and then they eliminate another prospect, pretty much. A lot of guys retire, get hurt after taking their first big loss in heavyweight. You get finished a lot. American guys kind of eliminate each other, and then when you get to that 5-0 kind of range, you're kind of ready for the UFC. That 6-0, 7-0 range, you're going to get rushed. You're going to go right to the UFC. It's impossible to healthily develop in America because you're going to be getting opportunities that maybe a guy who's 7-0 in Poland or 7-0 in Russia wouldn't get off record alone. Because these guys that you're going to see in America have more like 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 type of records. And these guys in Europe and Russia are obviously a lot more tenured. You're going to see guys that are 12-1. You're going to see guys that are 16-1. You're going to see guys that are 9-0. You're going to see better, more shiny records in Europe, in the Balkans, in Russia. Not really in England, but, just Europe in general. Asia has some good fighters too. So you're going to see a lot better records. You're going to see more tenured fighters. But doesn't mean that our guys aren't better. We're going to have to see. I have not, at this point, delved into all the footage of every single fighter yet. That is what I'm about to do. Now that I've seen heavyweight across the entire world, I've seen kind of like how divisions are playing out, I really couldn't understand the reasons why it seems like heavyweight before had so many more contenders than we do now. I definitely needed a different perspective, an inside view on the heavyweight division, and who's better to give me a perspective on heavyweight than an actual UFC heavyweight, Mr. Jared Vanderaa. Because it's under like a lot of critique, and I would kind of like want to know from a guy who's been there, fought in the UFC. I was looking at the roster, there are more ranked heavyweights than unranked heavyweights, and I'm working on a video right now trying to catalog every single prospect at heavyweight right now in America, in the entire world, and America's kind of in like last place. Why do you think we're not seeing a lot of American heavyweights start careers or start trying to fight professionally?
Oh, that one's easy. That is actually a lot more of an easier question than you realize. Heavyweights get paid more in different sports. NFL, MLB, NBA. If you look at the average player of those, they're about 200 to 220. They're all about 6 foot and up. They're all athletic human beings. But they also go, even if they love MMA and let's say they're good at baseball, financially, if let's say they like liked baseball or loved baseball, financially that would be the career to go, because John Jones, Tom Aspinall, the big names, they make a lot of money, but they're still not bringing in Tom Brady money. Here's the one thing I hate about being a fighter there, and I also think this is something with the heavyweights, and especially the heavyweights in the UFC, they're boring as fuck.
Oh, true, yeah.
But like think about it. Name a heavyweight that is exciting to listen to. Let alone watch, but exciting to listen to after the fight.
Yeah, fucking just Derek Lewis. That's it.
Exactly. Just Derek Lewis.
I think that Mr. Vanderaa had a very excellent point. The reason that we don't really see a lot of new heavyweight talent coming in is not only because, of course, pay is going to be unfair. And, there's a lot of smaller guys in soccer but just as like a whole, bigger guys have it a little bit easier in the world of sports. It made a lot of sense to me when he said just Derek Lewis, because there is no Justin Gaethje, there is no Dustin Poirier, there is no Max Holloway, there is no McGregor, there is no Colby Covington, there is no Masvidal at heavyweight. There is no name value in the division. And when you have a already suppressed talent pool because these big guys have options, your talent pool is going to be even more suppressed when there's really no goalpost or motivating factor outside of the title, which is completely in a terrible place right now with Jones and Aspinall going back and forth on being legitimate for what? It feels like almost 2 years now. We've been saying Aspinall and Ngannou is the best in the world, and Jones has sat on the title. There's Derek Lewis, and there's nobody else with real name value in the USA or globally. And that is another reason why we're not seeing a lot of heavyweights right now. That being said, these guys coming up currently, they are not doing this for the money. They are doing this because they are violent individuals and they want to be the best heavyweight fighters in the entire world. Now, some of them may look like professional Clash of Clans players as opposed to professional athletes, but it does not mean that they wouldn't kick the shit out of you. So, I mean, you're free to critique them. I don't really care. I'm sure some of them will be pretty questionable record-wise and talent-wise, but some of them are going to be fierce. Some of them I already think are UFC level. And by the time you are hearing the next audio clip, it will be the start of looking at all 88 prospects at heavyweight in the entire world, and I will probably be exhausted because I do just tend to put a lot of passion into these projects that probably don't have the biggest reach. So I do ask you, if you do enjoy this type of content, to support me in any way you deem fit. There are super chats, but liking, subscribing, sharing, anything you're able to do, I appreciate that tremendously. And without further ado, this is me analyzing all 88 heavyweight prospects in the entire world. That was a lot of intro. Let's get into our first prospect. This is Abdullah Kane. He is fighting out of Senegal. He is 3-0. Now, the most exciting thing about Abdullah is that he is already signed to a major promotion. He is signed to the PFL, and he will be competing in the first ever, the inaugural PFL Africa tournament. If that happens, I don't know. Let's break down Abdullah Kane as a fighter. Now, there's Abdullah Kane looking heavy, looking like a heavyweight. Oh my god, his opponent is gonna kill him. That is crazy. I wonder how that worked out for that dude. First off, you can see he's very big, even for heavyweight. 6'5", built, muscular, not gonna be a lot of those guys. Almost sweeps Kasim off the feet with a leg kick. Now, I actually really like his guard, because at first he looks like he's very stiff, but, that leg kick and then the follow-up shots, he could definitely, kind of become a little bit more fluid if he needs to, while still keeping a really defensive guard, and I like that a lot. No, I actually really like his fight IQ as well. I think that he doesn't look lost for a 3-0 fighter. He definitely seems like he has a little bit more experience. He was going to go for the ground and pound. He sees an opportunity to take the neck. He takes the back, body triangle, and, chokes this guy out. I like this guy. He's big, super strong, obviously, right, 6'5" heavyweight, but he's fluid. He's fluid, fight IQ is decent, defense is decent. Right now, he's signed to the PFL. He's going to be fighting Muhammad bin Yahya or something like that. I think Muhammad bin Yahya is going to get absolutely demolished. I don't think Muhammad bin Yahya has a shot. Another thing, this guy's kind of a little bit creative with it too. From a break, he hit this beautiful spinning elbow. And I'm like, damn, if this guy is only 3-0 and he's, hitting spinning back elbows from the break, off the clinch, he has good intelligence in the cage. His stance is really good. This guy is probably going to be a finalist, probably a finalist in PFL Africa. Very good. What is the potential of Abdullah Kane? Well, honestly, he's very big. He's in good shape. He's physical. He's strong. Decent fight IQ. I really like the way that he strikes. Because when you're just like a big young guy, maybe it's good to have a little bit of a more stiff stance, let guys kind of, whenever they reach the pocket with you, throw something super long. I bet the dude has a crazy reach. I can't find his reach, but he looks like he has really big reach, and he looks like he uses it well. Only 26 years old. Now, you know, I'm praising this guy a lot, but it's not like he's showing like an elite skill set in wrestling or boxing or offense, but he has all of the intangibles, right? And he has a lot of physicality. Already in the PFL, I'm gonna say I don't think he's gonna win the tournament, but I'm gonna say that he has very good potential. But he's still you gotta remember, the guy is still pretty raw as a talent, still pretty young, not the most seasoned, and I think he's gonna make it to the finals of the PFL. So I'm gonna say PFL Africa finalist. That's gonna be where his run ends, and yeah, I think after that, you know, he'll have improved a lot. PFL off season is a bunch of months that you're gonna be training, so you don't know the next version of Abdullah Kane. But that's where I'm gonna put his potential for now. Our first American on the list, also a undefeated 6'5" heavyweight fighter at 26 years old. It is Adam Puland. Now, Adam Puland, built a little different, a little bit of a chubbier fella, but I mean, as you're gonna see on this list, that's most heavyweights. However, he is very athletic for his size. Look at this lunacy! What is he doing? Now, I'm not gonna lie, at first, I thought Adam Puland was just like spazzing a little bit, but I realized he was trying to throw a hook kick. You can see he actually set it up perfectly, okay? I don't know his opponent's name, right? Whatever that dude's name is. He is lucky because he was about one mistake away from being on the receiving end of a viral moment. Most likely because he's 6'5", he probably trains with bigger guys. He overshot the hook kick and he ended up hitting his opponent with his calf, and then he got knocked off balance. But if he didn't overextend his leg with that hook kick, it would have landed flush, and that would have been, you know, like a crazy knockout. Definitely would have had that dude on social media blowing up. Crazy moment. Now, Adam Puland is a striker, kick heavy too. Not necessarily a bad grab. I mean, you can see he gets taken down by you know, Tubby here. So the grappling is probably his worst aspect of the game. He's been finished by guys before, but look, he scrambled up to his feet. Kicks are very nice, and his striking is very good. As you can see, he dropped him. We've never really had like a big, chubby Wonder Boy type of dude. He actually pulled a guillotine when somebody tried to take him down, and he got the win like that. This guy's good on the feet. He's very good on the feet, and I like this too. I loved his clinch striking. Man, those uppercuts and those knees to the body, that Muay Thai clinch striking was very, very solid as well. Now, potential for Adam Puland, I think that he could be, eventually he can make the UFC roster. I think he will be, if he really dedicates himself, maybe gets a little bit better of a defensive wrestling game, he could definitely be in the UFC. You don't see a lot of heavyweights having such like a heavy kick volume in their games, so he definitely stands out. Very good prospect. Definitely gonna keep my eye on him because one of those kicks is gonna land eventually as he tightens up his game. You know, the competition, it gets harder, but it's heavyweight. It doesn't get too much harder, at least until you're like in the UFC. Then it gets a lot harder. I wouldn't be surprised if this dude was delivering like a viral KO sooner than later. UFC potential if he dedicates himself to taking care of that wrestling weakness, Mr. Adam Puland. Next up is a true monster at 6'7", just 2-0, from Kyrgyzstan, Akmed Buzzv. Now, Akmed is truly a sight to behold, because standing at 6'7", looking straight out of the mountains of Dagestan, they don't really make him that big. That's a scary natural heavyweight. 6'7" Dagestani dude would be the last thing I want to go up against if I'm a regional fighter. First off, based on first impressions, every single kick this guy throws had his opponent going back a mile, right? So obviously he's very good at that, but this was my favorite moment of the fight, aside from the finish right here, as you're gonna see. He misses a kick, but he doesn't waste the movement. This here is one of my favorite moments in the entire video. misses the body kick, so instead of wasting emotion, he returns that body kick into a hook kick which partially lands, and then a straight over top after feinting a jab, then he resets position. I absolutely love that combination. I love this guy's striking so much. Absolute phenom with the striking, and then he just, uses his length to put him away with the knees. I just want to see more of this dude fight. Please, somebody book this man. He's only 25, and he's that scary. And he's just, 6'7", dude, potential through the roof. I like this guy a lot. Very green still. Taking fights outside of MMA, where he would be the huge underdog, fighting experienced guys. Losing fights even, I don't know what he's doing. But, he's taking the toughest route possible, which I like. And his striking just looks good, and he looks powerful. And I want to see him fight somebody that could wrestle. I want to see him fight somebody that could strike with him. Or just keep feeding this guy tomato cans. I want to see this dude have more fights. Super fun potential. Crazy raw talent. Get this man a fight. Next up, one of my favorite fighters in the world to watch. Genuinely, out of all the fighters in the world, this guy, one of my favorite to watch right now. He's so exciting. Alexander Moslov. Now, who is Alexander Moslov? I would just say Sergey Pavlovich phenotype. Fights maybe like Jeremy Stevens mixed with Pavlovich. There's a lot of plotty footwork, but then there's just big wild swings. A great chin. The dude is knocking MRFers out. First off, marketability. This guy, he looks like giant McGregor. He looks like a giant Conor McGregor, and all he does is throw hands. He kind of has he has good foot. He literally looks looking like a giant McGregor right now. But his footwork's not terrible. It's just he doesn't care. He'll eat shots. He doesn't have the best grappling, but it's getting better. His takedown defense is getting a little bit better. But the thing is, he just hits so hard, and he's okay with getting hit. This in particular, he didn't look. Yeah, you could see he stuns that dude just with the left jab there. But this fight wasn't particularly one of his best skill set wise. I just think it had some insane exchanges, especially the ending. And also the feints. Dude is feinting like BJ Penn at heavyweight. It's just these little ticks are constantly coming. It's got to take a little bit of... Oh, and there you see the knockdown. Insane exchange. He caught him coming in with the left hook. It has to take so much out of you. The dude's cardio has to be pretty good, because the way that he fights, it's so demanding on your body. He got knocked down, and you can see just one punch from Moslov that connects. Absolutely slept him, and that was that. Insane performance. Let me tell you why this guy's potential is... This guy is absolutely skipped in a White Contender Series. Bring him into the UFC. He's ready for the UFC now. I would hardly even call him a prospect. He's in his prime. He's 32 years old. That's probably when you're about to hit, maybe 33, 32. That's when you hit your prime as a heavyweight. Bring him in now. Why are we not? What more does this guy have to do? He morphed himself from a big Slavic dude to literally, he's got the McGregor dreadlocks. He's tatted up like McGregor. He only has exciting fights. He's knocked... let me check. I'm checking right now. His knockout percentage has to be 90, right? What is that? 12 wins, 9 knockouts. Okay, so that's a high enough finish rate, right? What's that? 1, 2... Yeah, and he doesn't even TKO people. He knocks them right out. He's got insane hands. Super exciting. This is the type of guy the UFC need to sign immediately before it's too late. Do not fumble. Do not fumble. 75% finish rate. Do not fumble. Alexander Moslov. Good chin too, because although he does get hit, he's never been put away. I don't know if that would still happen in the UFC. But what more does he need to do? Bring him in now. Moslov, one of my favorites. All his fights are crazy, by the way. He knocks everybody out. Next one is a little bit difficult. This is Alexander Podmarov. The reason that this is difficult, same thing with the next guy. Not a lot of footage on this dude. Very low competition. A little bit of a cane crusher. Dude, his quality of competition is not that good, but from the fight that I did manage to salvage, he looked interesting. First note I'd like to make, not a heavyweight. Honestly, on the feet, he's a wild man. Okay, this is one thing I'd like to note. He had a really strong front face lock. Yeah, his front headlock, front face lock, whatever you want to call it, very good. Okay, but this guy is quite undersized for heavyweight. He says he's 6'1". I don't think so. I think he's about 5'10", 240. He's chubbed up, but explosive grappling, I will say. You're about to see that right here. As you can see, his opponent shoots him for a takedown. Look at the pull on that Kimura attempt. Even though, I mean, his arm went up there, up. But he went too far up with the Kimura and ended up losing it. But he did end up scrambling into a choke win. Now, how in the world do you judge somebody like this who does have some, obviously he has a little bit of ability at least, but he doesn't really have any credentialed wins at all, and he's like 30 fights in his career. I mean, that body chop, yeah, that was a cool rear naked choke. Potential-wise, I'm saying just like, put him on Dana White's Contender Series against a guy you think is going to beat him. And, he's a good record guy that will probably lose against a higher level prospect just because he's not a heavyweight. He should be at middleweight or light heavyweight. But, he can't make it anymore. He's not in... He's still athletic for being a big fella, but I don't know, man. I'm not too high on him, but I would put him on the Contender Series as like a stepping stone for a very talented guy, if we have any. Okay, now this one is going to be the most disappointing one in the entire video because I can't find any fight footage for free. Alright, and I'm not paying $30 for a video that I'll probably make like 10 cents on. Oh wait, advertisements are getting probably zero off of I'm not paying $30 to watch him fight. Okay, but his name's AJ Fry. He follows me on Instagram. He's a bigger guy, right? Natural heavyweight. He trains with this guy. So he's probably very good. 4-0, undefeated, all TKO finishes. I don't know, man. I'll watch him fight for free. But he's there. I didn't want to not include him just because I couldn't find footage. So we go from that, not knowing anything about somebody, to literally the best, if not one of the best prospects in all of America, standing at 6'2", with hands the size of baseball gloves, 7-0, undefeated Alvin Guy Hind. Training out of a Minnesota-based gym with the likes of Thomas Peterson and other American heavyweights, Alvin Guy Hind usually has used his grappling to absolutely tear through the American regional scene, whether this be by ground and pound or by submission, particularly arm submissions. Now, in this fight with Billy Ray Valdez showed surprising takedown defense, weird center of gravity, so Guy Hind pulled this out of the toolkit, something you would not expect for such a stiff, big dude to be pulling off. Alvin Guy Hind, great marketability, and I'll get into why I think he's Dana White Contender Series ready. Now, potential-wise, I am saying Dana White Contender Series ready, and spoiler alert, I'm doing a video on how I would book Dana White Contender Series. First match, I'm getting Guy Hind on there, have him fight Alexander Podmarev, right, because he's got Russia versus America. Dude's got a crazy record. I think Guzi would probably smash him, though. Alvin Hind has shown a lot of completeness as a fighter. He's very physically strong. He's not small for the division. He's a natural heavyweight. I think he's absolutely perfect for Dana. It's now. Put him on Dana White Contender Series now. The dude is 32 or 33. He's a little bit older. Get him a win. Get him in there. And I think he could probably... definitely get ranked. I think he could get ranked. I think he would smash a Lucas Presky. He would smash an Austin Lane. I think the dude is like... There's definitely some tough matches. I haven't really seen his jiu-jitsu, right? I've seen him just strangle guys and, take them down to deep waters and just, almost break their arm with Americanas. But I haven't really seen him against a guy who's proficient in BJJ. So that could be an interesting fight. Maybe eventually like a Teixeira fight. Well, that's kind of the only guy that has jiu-jitsu at heavyweight. But I don't know, man. Other than that, it's just the guys look pretty flawless. I think it's time to bring him into Dana White Contender Series. It's now or never. And you're going to want it to be now. Because during that LFA card, I kid you not, this dude was not the main event. The loudest pop of the entire night was when Alvin Hines walked through the arena. The entire crowd was going goozy, 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 right? It's just like, it's time to bring the dude in. Got a lot of star potential too. Alvin Hines ready for Dana White Contender Series, and I think he'll win on Dana White Contender Series, and I think he'll do pretty good in the UFC as well. Now this dude is one of my favorites on the entire list. Anthony Gario at 4-0, undefeated, fighting out of Florida. This guy went without a win in his first 3 amateur fights. So instead of giving up, he was like, F it. He started taking kickboxing bouts, knocking everybody's heads off. And what we have now is one of the hardest hitting heavyweights in the world. I'm not kidding. This guy has absolute nuclear bombs for hands. Let's get into what makes the Daywalker so great. I think Anthony Daywalker is a very good boxer, very fast hands for heavyweight, and you know, just like, he doesn't fight like a heavyweight, like he throws punches like a smaller guy. Because they're so fast, even more like, I mean, this is a good, like, it's a good, okay, so it's a left jab, and then he feints the left jab, body hook, and when you could throw at that speed at heavyweight, you're going to be catching a lot of guys with little combinations like that. He's just quicker. He's just quicker than all these dudes, and he hits a lot harder too. Not to mention, the dude has absolutely killer power. I mean, if he connects with your chin, it's kind of like a Moslov, like you're probably going to go down. This dude's pretty big, and he's got a big old beard on him, and he's, you know, throwing wildly, trying to catch Anthony. But Daywalker, that last name's tough, even for an Italian, right? He gets a single punch. Gets a single punch on the side of this guy's head. And this dude is flatlined. I mean, he just binked him with it, and the dude was out cold. Look what he just did to Bailey Schoenfelder. And I know you're like, oh my god, you know, this guy's knocking out bums. Bailey Schoenfelder, I mean, that's a Dana White Contender Series guy. That's a guy who was champion in CFFC. He just beat Greg Velasco. That dude was a tenured fighter, at least a little bit, for a heavyweight, a decent prospect. Daywalker just put him to sleep. Now, you want to talk potential? I'm saying put him right on Dana White Contender Series now. He's 31. His boxing's good. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? There's not any more fights really left on the regionals in America. I mean, unless he goes to LFA, there's really just not much left. And obviously the dude is marketable. I mean, he looks like a star at least. I'm sure people will see him in the cage and he'll get some attention, get a boost in followers. Look, the hands are sharp, they're powerful, he's fast. What more do you really need from a heavyweight? Potential is Dana White Contender Series. Next up, we have another really good prospect. That pattern is not going to continue. I'm letting you guys know that right now. There's some bums on this list. But this guy is super good. I'm of course talking about the undefeated Anthony Wint. This guy is a former NFL player, used to play for the New York Jets. And that football tackle comes out in his takedown. I mean, he straight up looks like he does a spear from WWE. The former linebacker has a very good ground game. I like the way that he steps back so he can enter side control. And he kind of lets the dude pull half guard on him. But anyway, he's strong on top. He has good top control. And I think he finds a submission in this fight, correct? Another thing I like about Anthony Wint, I mean, obviously, you know, he's not younger, but he's MMA like he's young. He's only had 3 professional fights. Not a long amateur scene. I mean, this dude is a crossover fighter because he used to be a football player, so he carries that athleticism with him. I like the way that he would disengage, he would stand up. If he was in a bad position on the ground or he couldn't find anything, he wouldn't try to, like, do stuff that he doesn't know. He wouldn't try to, you know, do scramble or anything. He'd just step up. He'd step back, and he'd try to re-enter through the guard, past the guard, find a position. That's how he found this arm triangle choke, was by disengaging from the ground and then re-entering. And I like that, because, you know, obviously he knows what he's good at, and he knows what he's not. Potential, difficult to say. This was super impressive. So he tries an armbar gets reversed. What does he do? No powerbomb. Look what he does. Yo, tries to heel hook him. Tries to get a heel hook, which is crazy, or roll for a knee bar or some shit like that. That was pretty good. Nice little BJJ positioning by Anthony Wint. Hey man, he's solid. solid fighter. Let's see what he could do as his career kind of moves on. Overall, for potential, Anthony Wint, he's 29 years old, a little bit older, a little bit short for heavyweight, but honestly, I think he has a path to Dana White Contender Series. I think maybe after Daywalker and Guzzi are gone from their respective promotions, I could see CFFC or LFA putting some investment into Anthony Wint, making him maybe he has a path to one of those titles, and then he will get a UFC shot. So I'm going to say, at least I see Anthony Wint getting on to Dana White Contender Series. I think so. Yeah, I said the prospects were going to get bad eventually, or kind of fall off eventually, but this might be the best one on the entire damn list. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Arcadius Warsack. Arcadius actually had one of the most legendary kickboxing matches of all time against the legend Badr Hari. Badr Hari was dominating Arcadius Warsack, dropped him twice in round 1, was battering him, and then Arcadius Warsack decided to take one of the most legendary kickboxers' careers for himself. Up against the ropes with nowhere to go, one head kick changed the life and the story of Arcadius Warsack. If you want high-level heavyweight striking in MMA, Arcadius Warsack is where you're going to be going. This man has transitioned into mixed martial arts so damn smoothly, even developing some good takedown defense later into his career. Well, later into his career, he's had 6 fights. The hottest MMA heavyweights in the world right now, and this man is on a collision course with Phil DeFries. For those of you not in the know, most places outside of the UFC, global MMA rankings would have Phil DeFries somewhere in that top 10, closer to the top 5. Okay? Now, if Arcadius could beat Phil DeFries, then it'd be hard to say, what's his potential, because he just beat one of the best heavyweights in the entire world. At that point, he would go from a prospect to one of the best guys in the entire world. It is such a huge leap for Arcadius Warsack. I hope that he is able to get it done for the sake of the sport, but I think that he will need to develop some better takedown defense, and also he has to come to the UFC, because that's where the biggest fights are at. I want to see Arcadius fight the likes of Cyril Gane, Sergey Pavlovich. There are so many fun fights for him if he could get past Phil DeFries and hopefully get into the UFC. Potential, honestly, you gotta say, potential is one of the best in the world, because, he could be, with a win over Phil DeFries. Next up is Arselon Biblob. Okay, this guy, he actually is really good as well, but he is not fun. This guy is a single leg takedown merchant, literally a Habib prodigy, Islam Makhachev prodigy, and Nurmagomedov clan gym member. This guy is a takedown merchant. Although extremely boring, Biblob has very, very, very good grappling. Maybe not even very good grappling. He's begging to be Curtis Blades, Jailton Almeida, but the way that he attacks the single leg is so persistent. And then look at this.
Can we get much higher?
Dude's literally trying to jump out of the way of the fucking takedown. And as he should, because Biblob just never, ever stop, and that's a blatant cage grab, but Biblob just doesn't give up with the clinch grappling. Whether it be back control, whether it be up against the cage with a single leg, whether it be shooting down the middle, and just getting that advantageous over-underhook position in the first place, which leads to all of this smothering, or leads to eventually what you're going to see is a takedown. Maybe. I'm waiting for it. But yeah, I think you guys can tell I'm not the biggest fan of the Biblob fights. This is the equivalent. This is the equivalent to I don't want to say like a heavyweight Habib, but so far this guy's fights have purely been Makhachev versus Drew Dober. It's just been some top control. He gets the takedown, and there it is. He got it. He has a good job popping his head out of a triangle. I don't think Asiev is built for triangles, but he got flattened out. Oh look, it's a boo 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 car in the cage camera. Then you can see him mercifully squeeze an arm triangle choke and the fight ends. Out of every single prospect in the entire world, I found Arselon Biblob to be the most boring heavyweight out of all 87 or 88. I found him to be the most boring. So if you enjoyed that, you're gonna love the rest of this video. I mean, maybe people are watching it in segments because it's probably gonna be a long one, but man, I am not a fan of his style. However, Habib Islam Makhachev, Abu Boo Boo endorsement, it's going good, man. He's getting better every fight. You know, if he really dedicates himself. Unfortunately, this guy has limitless potential, and he's got swag like a motherfucker. I mean, look at that dude's lifted truck. That's fucking swag. All right, and that's something that you can't teach. Realistically, I think he's gonna go to Russia, and he's gonna do really good in ACA, and then I think eventually somebody will catch him because I don't think he's the most defensively sound fighter. But who knows? He could just have like improvements because he's at, I mean, what some would say is the best gym to be at if you're a prospect, which is under the guise of Islam Makhachev and Habib. So I don't know. I guess really good, but super boring. Next up is a fighter who I thought would be impressive, Artur Scabarix, 7-0 from Latvia, who fights in a promotion called Cock, okay, which is suspect enough, and then I just looked at his record.
He's a cane crusher, breaking down walls like a wrecking ball. He's a cane crusher. The man that he's fighting won't try at all.
Out of 7 pro mixed martial arts fights, I only believe one of those fights to be legitimate, and that was his opponent with the 2-2 record, which I did manage to find the footage for. From the footage I could find, I mean, he looks kind of clunky. He looks like he's the one in the red, by the way. He looks like a brawler. Some of these punches, I'm like, I don't know, man. His clinch is alright, but I don't know. He kind of looks like, maybe it's just a weird nah, man, what the fuck was that hammer fist? I don't think this dude really knows what he's doing too much. I think if he does decide to take a hard fight, he's gonna get beat up. This guy's potential. Overall, I mean, this dude, it seems like he trains at least, right? I'd say this guy's probably potential. I would say potentially a fraud. Can crusher. Next up, one of my favorite people to discover on this entire list. I was not sure what to expect when I found Uzbekistan's Azamat Nefatalev. And this guy has one of the best records on the entire list. At 16 wins and just 1 defeat, I expected a pressure, grappling, kind of, just like grinding out wins type of dude. But man, I was so pleasantly surprised with the dragon. Now first off, the aura of Azamat, the dragon, Nefatalev, because why in the world is he coming out with the Uzbekistani Nation of Domination? What the fuck? What the... It's cool. It's really cool. I mean, it's... Honestly, it's a little scary. He's coming out with a bunch of fucking dudes in these little military outfits. I like it, man. This dude just screams fucking Uzbekistani superstar. First off, this man is just completely a gorilla. Like, he's not a super technical fighter. He's just so damn strong, and what he does know, he does very, very well, and that is bringing his opponent down and just holding him there and crushing him. Azamat wants to hold you down and just beat you up. There's nothing really too pretty about it. It's those short elbows, it's hooks from mount, it's all this nasty grinding, ground and pound type of action that makes him so dominant, and that kind of makes me want to see him. I don't know, man. I think this guy has a ton of potential, but he is a little bit older, and I love the way that he comes out. I like the way he presents himself. Although there's not necessarily a lot of flash to his game, and there's it's grit. It's grit, and he's just an animal, man. He's ferocious. Look at this back take. Look at the squeeze on this rear naked. He squeezed the shit out of his neck. I mean, goddamn, man. Look at the squeeze on that rear naked choke. This dude's just strong, he's powerful, and he's mean, and he's ferocious. I like this guy's fights a ton. I like his fighting style. Reminds me of like a Mark Coleman type character. Now for potential, okay. Well, first off, the guy's, although he's good, that fighting style is only gonna work. I know it's heavyweight, but that fighting style is only gonna work against such a certain level of competition. Put him in there with a guy like Marcin Tybura or something, and I think, I don't know, that would be very interesting to me. You know, I don't know if he really gets past that kind of like gate in the UFC's top 15, but I would love to see this dude on Contender Series. I like that he's just an animal, right? And I was complaining about Arselon Biblob or whatever his name was. His style was boring. This dude's active. He's active. He constantly wants to finish the other fighter. And 16-1. Put him on Dana White's Contender Series. Let him fight somebody good. Or maybe somebody bad. I don't know. I want to see him in the UFC. But this guy could main event an episode of Dana White's Contender Series, and I would not be disappointed at all. From one Uzbekistani heavyweight prospect to another, Bier Kalov. He's a little bit older. He's very short for the division. Being short and old isn't good, but guess what? This guy, just like Azamat, was very surprising. Now, I don't think that his potential is quite at that level of becoming a 16-1 fighter like Azamat is. But look at this. This is a moment and you can see awesome wheel kicks in this fight, which I'm not expecting from two heavyweights. But, so, his opponent gets his leg damaged throwing a leg kick, and, obviously, it gets checked, right? So, Bier, actually tries to take his head off with a wheel kick of his own, which was incredible, as you're going to see right here. Absolutely crazy moves for the big boys to be pulling out. Adam Puland, where you at? Head kick attempt. Bier shows really good fight IQ because, he is looking for an opportunity to chew that leg up. And dang, his leg kicks are pretty hard, man. So there's one leg kick, he already threw it. His opponent is hurting more and more and more. Could be a problem with the knee. He keeps throwing that leg kick. And eventually he's saying, F it, I'm not going to sit here and kick your leg all day. I'm going to shoot on the damaged leg. Very smartly, he attacked that knee that was hurting and bring him to the ground. And now when your leg is buckled like that, when you can barely stand, you're really incapable of using complex scrambles. So Bier did what he did and attacked. As for the potential of Bier Kalov, we have to look at the unfortunate reality of him as a fighter. He is 5'10", and he's 31 years old. I don't think he's gonna I just don't envision him making it to the UFC. I don't even think he's gonna be like a PFL guy. He's very tiny for the division, and I think that he's gonna be a very fun regional fighter. I think maybe he's gonna dominate like Shmlenko FC or Niza or Alash Pride or something like that. I think it's going to be very fun in there. This is a very fun regional fighter. I just don't think he has the time or the physical attributes to be knocking out and beating up these enormous opponents across continents. Now, this one is interesting because the sole heavyweight prospect from Mongolia is super interesting. His name is Botjargal Kadbatar, but this is the one fighter who I could not find any footage on, and I looked for hours. I was man, I made a VPN, a Chinese VPN. I was on this weird like Chinese kids YouTube website where it says that he has some fights. I couldn't find any. I found a bunch of kickboxing fights, but they weren't him. And this is the truth about Botjargal Kadbatar. He has a YouTube channel where he reposts Mongolian love shows, and this is verified as him, by the way. So he's reposting episodes of some like Mongolian romance show, and this guy is posting thirst traps on Mongolian Facebook like a motherfucker. Now, eventually on Facebook, I found some updates on Botjargal, and this was very disappointing. He is 40 years old as of right now, and seems like he was out of his last fight with an injury, so a comeback is very unknown, and potential, unfortunately, he's gonna have the lowest potential out of anybody here, because he's 40 years old, coming off a tough injury. If he even fights again, even a can crusher probably has the ability to beat him, because likely he is going to become a can himself. This man is very impressive. He is undefeated as an amateur, made his pro debut, got a very quick finish. I'm talking about the 6'4" American Ben Wonder. What I'm noticing with a lot of these big American dudes, they're like a lot more versatile in their attacks than I would think. I see a lot of like heavyweights, and this guy's very dangerous off the break. It's definitely like where he shines the most. But this dude's throwing head kicks a lot too, and I'm like, damn, big boy, chill, Lord. And he's not the only one from America that's just like super well with their dexterity. And watch what this guy does. And I don't like that he's getting held up against the cage, but you know, he's a young fighter. I mean, this guy's just trying to wall and stall. And Ben Wonder absolutely punishes him for it, man. Right out the break. Look at this. So he gets his collar tie. Tries to reverse the underhooks. Eventually he does. And he just whips him with a big old shot. And you see Wonder's a lot bigger than this guy too. So here's the break happening right now. What was it? Elbow! Slice his damn head. I mean, he tried to catch him with that knee on the way down, and then just pounded him. I like that. And then he goes fucking gorilla. It was a double axe handle on the ground. Looking like Macho Man.
To you that I am, yeah, the future, yeah.
I'll tell you right now, this dude is very difficult for me to judge in a good way. And that is because he has not had to show so much. He has finished not finished. He's knocked out every single opponent in his amateur and pro career. Dude looks powerful. He's a natural heavyweight. He's only going to be packing on muscle. He's only going to be getting better. If I could invest in the career of Ben Wonder, I'm putting a fat fucking stack on this dude becoming at least like a regional champion or something like that. You know, it's impossible to say, like, will he get caught eventually? Who knows? But he's been just beating guys quicker and quicker, and his career is very, very promising so far. The next man on this list is truly something special. At just 6 feet tall, I believe that this man is being groomed to be the next UFC or PFL star. This is Boris Imparga. Imparga is so strong, hits so damn fast. His opponents just don't want anything to do with it. I mean, the man on the feet must just be a monster because he completely humiliated this dude. He's sitting there, he's taunting him. And the taunting of Imparga is what makes him good too. You're gonna see that a lot in his fights. This dude is an absolute showman. And he's pretty disrespectful too. All that happened this fight was Embargo just kept throwing and punching this dude down, and this dude did not want to get back up. He was just raising his guard, and Embargo was just staring at him, waiting for the referee to make his ass get up. This dude uses his small size at heavyweight to his advantage. Look at this. You don't see speed like this from other people. What was that? Left head kick into a right jab, and then he just unloads on the other dude until he's out cold, steps back, mean as hell. It was this fight against former UFC fighter Rafael Pessoa that really sold me on Boris Embargo. And that is because he gets side control pretty effortlessly, right? He slams the former UFC veteran down and gets right into side control. What you're about to see is some really, really nasty ground and pound, because that's what he possesses. I mean, the dude's got a shit ton of power, right? He starts hammering and hammering and hammering Pessoa's head until he falls asleep. But then he hits him with this, man. The disrespect is it's just fucking crazy. And I like it, because we need more bad guys in mixed martial arts, and this guy is a bad guy. When you can just tell, he's fucked up. It's so fucking disrespectful, right? He puts him out cold, and then he hits him with the... Come on, fuck that, man. Fuck you. Poor Ralph. Now, for potential, I mean, the dude's already beating former UFC fighters, right? And he hits like a fucking monster. He's very fast twitch. The only issue I possibly have is that the dude is he's just a little bit small for heavyweight. 6 feet tall. I mean, fuck, man. Maybe he'll be the one to get it done. I don't know. Potential through the roof. Alright, now this guy, Brando Pedishek. Okay, so I see a lot of like memes going around calling fighters plants and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. If there was a fighter that was a plant for the UFC, it would be this dude. Brando trains out of City Kickboxing. He's friends with Israel Adesanya. He has a 4-1 record. He's already signed to Dana White's Contender Series. He's on a 2-fight win streak. And these are his opponents. Okay? And this is why I find him a little bit suspect. This is what makes everything so suspect. Yes, he's fighting a dude that is like 5'8", fat, no combat experience at all, whose nickname is the Bear Hunter, and Brando's nickname's the Bear. So he's only fighting to fight Brando. He never fought again after this. He never fought before this. And what the fuck do you think happened? Right? I mean, what do you think happened? Okay? And it's just like this is a real fight. Like, the dude was trying to win. He just got absolutely demolished, right? Because this is a dude who trains in City Kickboxing with Adesanya and them. The clinch knees, I mean, he got broken fairly quickly. But why is Dana White's Contender Series allowing a dude like this to come into the UFC? I don't like it at all. Because there are guys that actually deserve to be on Dana White's Contender Series that have far more impressive resumes and that have, I mean, no disrespect to Brando, but have worked a lot effing harder than a dude whose last 2 fights after coming off a loss where he got finished was against guys with no combat experience, against dudes like this who should be at lightweight or really probably shouldn't have been in there at all. And I'm going to show you why he gets to be in the UFC, and these other prospects that I've been looking at have not got to get the Dana White Contender Series call so far. 56,000 followers on Instagram. Far more than any of the LFA guys, far more than the American heavyweights, you know, far more than even like the Russian dudes, these European guys. He's on social media, he's a presence. Does this put him past the level of guys like Alvin Hinds and other more deserving fighters? I don't like that precedent being set at all. Marketing yourself and having a social media presence is definitely important if you want to be a successful UFC fighter. I mean, look at Kevin Holland. Look at just having personality can get you very, very far. But I don't agree with his spot on Dana White's Contender Series, man. 2-fight win streak against guys that have literally zero combat experience. I don't like it one bit. Skill-wise, I mean, the dude is 6'5". He's looked good against the guys with no combat experience that he's fought. No amateur or pro fights, both of those dudes. Smoked them, and now he gets a UFC shot. He smoked those guys. He's fighting out of city kickboxing with Adesanya, so he's probably good. But I don't know, man. I don't like what that is, man, because there are guys that deserve it a lot more than Brando. And that's the truth. You know who's legit? Brandon Soul, undefeated pro heavyweight from America, 2-0, follows me on Instagram like an effing boss should. Let's take a look at Mr. Soul. After being a 5-1 amateur with all finishes, standing 6'6", who is Brandon Soul going to choose to victimize in his first professional bout? Oh, nah, man. Oh, Brandon Soul, you fucked up. You fucked up, man. Tyler Porkchop, Brandon Soul, you're devious, man. You're devious. Tyler Porkchop. This looks like the son of the dude that fought Batista. Yeah, man, what do you think happened? What do you think happened? That's the craziest physique in mixed martial arts history. Brandon Soul is 6'6". He looks like he's out of the Wyatt family, dude. And he's scary. I remember in this fight, Brandon Soul landed a jab. This guy was noticeably just like bewildered. Like, holy shit, what the hell was that? And Brandon Soul had no mercy. No mercy on this dude. I mean, you can't really take him down. Center of gravity type of thing there, right? So Brandon Soul was like, hey, I'm going to pin you up against the cage, and I'm going to knock you out. And I like the way that Brandon Soul, I mean, I know this isn't the most highest level of opponent, but Brandon Soul uses his length pretty well. Like, he throws a lot of teeps, he throws a lot of stuff that he needs to be throwing, a lot of, like, long shots, and that's very good for a 6'6" fighter when most of the heavyweights have some shorter proportions. This guy is a unique phenomenon. And, I mean, but what did you think was going to happen, right? Brandon Soul is like, hey, I'm going to end it now. Don't actually come at me. It's going to be a knee to the head? And that was pretty much it. Mercy killing Brandon Soul. What does he look like when he's actually in a fight against a guy that doesn't... Maybe that guy has crazy boxing, man. I don't know. But he's actually really good, Brandon Soul. Brandon Soul had a very, very tough round 1 and round 2 in this fight. And, I mean, he was just eating shot after shot after shot. Back was taken. Dude, I mean, a lot of guys would have been down for the count. Round 3 begins, and Brandon Soul looks fresh as a 6'6" heavyweight could be. And his opponent's just looking like, what the hell do I have to do to get this guy out of here? His opponent just expended all his energy in the first 2 rounds, and Brandon Soul, like a zombie, just keeps coming forward, coming for more. And this dude is on the ropes by the time the bell rings, because he's just like, damn, what the hell do I even do at this point? Brandon Soul sees an opportunity, and he just puts it on him. And you can see that laceration open on his opponent's head. That stiff jab had his opponent, I mean, the light bill on this promotion, not being paid, whatever, it doesn't matter because they got talent like Brandon Soul, so obviously they ain't doing too bad. The jab and the straights down the middle, and this guy was out on his feet. I mean, yeah, man, he was done. So what do I think of Brandon Soul overall? Well, it's definitely going to be hard to navigate a realistic future where this guy has, you know, a ton of fights, because he's already 35 and he's only 2-0. So it's hard for me to envision this guy being like a 20-fight veteran one day. However, I mean, heavyweight is an older man's division. And, you know, the physicality, the height, everything's there. You know, obviously, American heavyweight, it's open. It's open. It's very ready for new contenders. He's got insane heart. He's got a crazy chin. He can hit hard. I'm going to say he has very decent potential. But you just got to remember, the dude's going to constantly be fighting, not only fighting his opponent, but also fighting the clock, right? And I mean, we'll have to see. Activity is going to be very important for Brandon Soule if he is going to make a career out of mixed martial arts. And also a 2-0 undefeated heavyweight. I don't like this guy. He beat the man with the greatest nickname in fighting history, Corey, what you talking about, Willis? This is America's Brent Campbell. Now, what I like about Brent Campbell is that his game plan and him as a fighter is extremely easy to understand. He is built like a fridge. He's probably a former football player. I mean, the dude is 6'5". He's heavy, and I really like his top control. He has a huge presence on top, in the guard, and inside control, and just generally on the ground. Very good top control. Corey Willis has his head held in his arm right now. Brent Campbell is going to pop that head out and do something very smart. I like when fighters do this. I mean, most casual viewers don't know this, but if you could get your head on the ground, it makes your top control a lot more effective. As you can see, Brent Campbell is pushing his own head on the ground, making it very hard for Corey Willis to scramble or get back up to his feet. Now, what does Brent Campbell do on the ground? Well, he does one of two things. That is try to get a choke, or I think he does this to Corey Willis. He takes your back, he either gets mount or he gets back mount, and he just rains down punches until the referee decides that it is enough. You can see Brent Campbell starting off his onslaught there. Some nice hooks back and forth with the left and the right. Corey Willis, very durable, taking all of those shots, but the back mount is secured. He gets the body triangles, flattens him out, and then takes Corey Willis down to a TKO. Gets the big win, Brent Campbell. Where do I rate Brent Campbell? He's decent. He's good. He's got a good game, good ground game. Yeah, he's very good. Think you could just slot him into a LFA, CFFC, or just put him wherever. You know, he's a good fighter. He'll probably do good. I mean, that's really it. Athletic, 6'4", 6'5". I mean, heavyweight fighter, undefeated. Put him anywhere. Now this one is going to be extremely interesting. This is Kari Miller. Now Kari Miller is a IMAFF champion. Amateur champion. He wasn't undefeated, and we're going to get to that later. But he was a very great state wrestler, and now wrestling people to death in mixed martial arts. Let's take a look at his top control. God damn, Kari Miller. God damn. I don't even know who the hell that is, but good for you. Very cool floral shorts for Kari Miller. Single leg, and although his opponent is a big boy, that's not gonna stop him from getting picked up like a ragdoll and dumped by the IMAFF heavyweight champion. Now, obviously, this was a lot shorter of a breakdown than all the other fighters, and that's just because Kari Miller is such like a raw new talent, and the dude is really good. Expert wrestling, fantastic wrestling knowledge. How will he apply it in the higher levels of mixed martial arts? I don't know, but for some weird reason, I'm just like, hey, this guy should go to one championship. I feel like he just kind of fits in there. I don't know why. But yeah, I feel like this dude is a super amazing raw talent. Very high potential. I'm not going to put him as a #1 prospect in the world just because he hasn't really beat anybody super impressive yet because he's just a 1-0 fighter. But obviously a guy like Kari Miller is somebody that you want to, you know, watch and pay attention to. Because if his wrestling is good enough to defeat all of these, you know, IMAFF amateurs across the world except for one, then he probably could do the same to about 85% of the modern heavyweight division in the world of mixed martial arts. Now, will he be able to do that effortlessly against higher level competition? Only time will tell, but very, very nice stuff so far from Kari Miller. Next up is Charlie Cleveland, and man, I just keep getting pleasantly surprised because this guy's fights are so damn entertaining. 2-0 as a pro and undefeated as an amateur, every single one of those fights have ended in finish for Charlie Cleveland, and I really, really like his style. He is action focused and he puts on a heavy output of kicks. I didn't think I would see so many kickers at heavyweight, but this guy might be my favorite because the way that he sets these shots up every single time is so beautiful. You can see him kind of stay on the outside. I mean, he does look like he's about to throw a kick. And his opponent, Mark Gordon, can't really do anything about it because he doesn't know if it's coming through the legs. You know, he was hitting the legs before. He's just eyeing this head kick. He's looking for a moment to find when that guard drops, and when he finds it, it is a beauty of a thing. Jab, feint, beautiful knockout right there. And again, against this opponent, he keeps that range beautifully. He's not afraid to throw to the body with a kick or chew up the legs. This one particularly was extremely brutal. I ripped this off of Instagram, so it's a little bit lower quality. But you can see Charlie Cleveland, even in the boxing, you know, winning. But what he wants is that patented head kick, and he sets it up so well. He keeps going low to the legs, beating up the calf, and he's looking for it. He's staying defensive, coming in, coming out, backing him up against the cage where he wants to be, and then it happens. One of the nastiest heavyweight knockouts I've seen in a while, and it is brutal. Completely out cold with a nasty follow-up shot. It seems like Charlie Cleveland is absolutely packed with power, and I'm telling you right now, this is a guy I'm gonna watch. This guy right now, with his knockout ability, give him 2 more fights, PFL, Challenger Series, I don't care, UFC, whatever. This is a super hot prospect. I am telling you, the way that he sets up these head kicks, it is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. My only question before I'm all in on Charlie Cleveland is, how is his defensive grappling? Is he just going to get out-wrestled? Either way, this guy possesses such danger on the feet, and that is where every single fight starts out, that I would be very wary of signing a fight with Charlie Cleveland. Absolute head kick machine. Love this guy's fights. Nothing even bad to say. He's looked ultra dominant in almost like every single exchange as an amateur and as a pro. This guy's definitely one to watch. America got a good one in Charlie Cleveland. I also think that the way that Charlie Cleveland utilized his range is super impressive. Next up, it's 1-0 Cody Weathers. My god, this is a big boy, and the fight that I watched was pure cinema. Now, me and my friends were watching this fight in a Discord call. Admittedly, we were getting quite bored because most of this was 2 big belly dudes wrestling up against the cage, throwing little strikes on the ground. And for the most of it, Cody was, these elbows are pretty nasty, but for the most of it, it was pretty 50-50. It was a closer fight, but Cody probably edging it out. Not a lot of crazy stuff happening, right? Weathers has his opponent in a single leg, kind of not really a high crotch position, but he has a single leg. He's wrapping it around, kind of. I don't know what he's doing there, but anyway, his opponent has a body lock, and his opponent Webster hits Cody Weathers with one of the most fantastic maneuvers I've ever seen in a mixed martial arts bout. I kid you not, this motherfucker gets WWE pile drivered. Now this dude comes back from that. He survives. The dude has heart. Gotta give it to him. Dude's got heart. He comes back. How does he finish the fight, man? How does he finish the fight? Nipple to chin, father's milk submission. Otherwise known as a smother choke, or a mother's milk choke. The smother. The titty to face, the chest to chin, the smother choke is how he beat Mr. Webster after getting pile driven in an absolutely iconic affair. I am perplexed. Look at that. Oh, it's in. Is it in? There you go. It's in. It's in. It's in. He's kind of, oh my god, he's cupping the back of the neck so he could drive his chest forward into his chin, and it's effective. It's effective because Webster cannot handle that, and he's got to tap out, like many men probably would. Mr. Weathers is an absolute fucking legend. I cannot believe he got pile driven and ate it and then came back and then did a fucking father's milk choke. That is insane to me. Dude, where does this guy go next? I have absolutely no clue what Cody Weathers is gonna do next, but damn, that is a nice fish. Dude is an anomaly. He's perplexing. I wanna see him fight again, that's for sure. Next up is going to be the 7-4 bare knuckle specialist, Darion Abbey. Now, Darion Abbey is super interesting because he's 6'6". He's got hands like a oh man, Frank Tate's got his shorts caught. I just didn't even realize that first time watching this fight. But anyway, it was very interesting seeing Darion Abbey actually take Frank Tate down. I wasn't expecting a lot of ground game from Abbey, but the reason that I'm putting him on the list, even though he's 32 and he's more known for his bare knuckle stuff than his MMA stuff, is that recently he's been transitioning to mixed martial arts and he's been doing absolutely fantastic. His last three, all by finish. Now this is coming off of a loss to Tim Johnson a while ago, and that dude's had an entire PFL run since then. Darion Abbey's just starting his MMA run, really, and he's looking really, really damn good because everybody knows Frank Tate, although older, he is a very tough bare knuckle fighter, and Darion Abbey actually has the hands defensively to block the shots and the hands offensively to actually put Frank Tate away, which he did here with that nice, well, you're not about to see it, but it was a very nice straight right to the chin of Frank Tate. Brutal. Now, I think that Darion Abbey is an important guy in mixed martial arts, and the reason I think that he is important is because in heavyweight, there is a lack of insanely awesome fights. Darion Abbey, maybe he doesn't win a UFC championship, but I am telling you, you put this dude up in there against anybody who's willing to stand and trade, and it is going to be a good fight. He's 6'6", he loves to use his reach, and he's got some crazy power in his hands. That is the type of fighter that we want on the regional scene, but he's really good. He's very, very good. So maybe this dude could make it to PFL, UFC, short notice. I'm gonna say his potential. I could just see this guy being like a short notice fighter for UFC or PFL or something like that. So Darion Abbey has hands. He is a guy that is very entertaining to watch fight. Just 4-0 from Germany is perhaps one of the most technically sound fighters on the entire list. I'm talking about Dave Belvki. Now, Dave Belvki really doesn't fight like a heavyweight. What do I mean by that? He doesn't just go out there swinging, looking for enormous shots straight off the bat. He's extremely defensively sound. And he's very smart with the way that he fights to minimize damage and maximize what he could do to his opponent. As you can see, he did not get hit with a punch in that wild exchange, and he cut his opponent Schuster open with a nice little jab. Belvki outperformed his opponent in every single aspect of mixed martial arts in this fight. But what he really did effectively was jab, move backwards, and just poke and prod at that cut to make his opponent extremely uncomfortable. And he wasn't afraid to mix in the grappling too, kept this dude thinking, and just completely outclassed him and showed him levels. And this dude was a game opponent. It's not like this is some jobber. This guy was definitely trying to win the fight. So it was amazing the way that Belvki completely just took him apart. I think I make it pretty clear I'm not a huge fan of point fighting, but Belvki to do this at heavyweight, it's so impressive. Very, very, very impressive. Because he made sure his opponent always had to think, while also making sure he didn't expend a ton of energy himself. Schuster is swinging at this point, and Belvki's super calm, composed, collected, doesn't, impose a bad guard. He's defensively aware, he's not getting hit, and he just pokes out little jabs, and they hurt. And they hurt. And that cut just gets exposed, and Belvki is just fine with, completely deflating his opponent and taking the win, letting the clock run down without trying to go and chase the finish like a crazy man like his opponent is trying to do, because he got outclassed on the feet with jabs and just footwork and range, and that is what Belvki's game is all about. As for the potential of Dave Belvki, I think this dude could slip into Octagon really well. KSW, that Europe scene is very hot right now. I think he could have a lot of success there. As long as he can keep not getting hit like he's doing, what's going to stop him? You know, I mean, the dude could grapple a little bit as well. So it's just like, damn, this guy is really, really good. He's really, really, really good. And I think that a run in Octagon would be really fun. I would like to see him maybe climb the ranks, have like 3 more fights, and then get in there with Will Fleury and, you know, those other guys, Carlos Famola. People like that, I think these are really fun matchups for Belvki, but he could also take the UFC route, he could take the PFL route. Kind of like the world. The world is really his oyster in like a couple of fights. He's probably going to have a lot of options. Very good fighter. Super interesting. You don't see a lot of defensive boxers at heavyweight. Next up is going to be Denzel Freeman. Now, Denzel Freeman is actually pretty well known because he is the current LFA heavyweight champion, the top theater league besides the top theater league for the UFC. Even bigger than Cage Warriors at this point. So Denzel Freeman is already in a fantastic position. I don't really need to discuss. He's been discussed a lot by a lot of people, but let's just quickly highlight what he's all about. Right away we start this fight, and you can immediately see the footwork of Denzel Freeman. And Raiden Kovacs is a very big guy, and he's a pretty good fighter as well. But Freeman is bouncing around, feinting constantly, and finds that head kick. And then look at this. Enters the guard, no problem. Denzel Freeman drops some big ones, doesn't even entertain the grappling attempt or the triangle attempt by Kovacs, and just smashes him on the ground. Amazing finding those shots. Now what do you do with a guy like this who's already in such a lucrative position in the world of martial arts? Denzel Freeman is in such a great place right now as LFA champion that it's actually difficult to say what he should do next, because the number 1 contender, Steve Asplund, he just lost to Denzel Freeman not too long ago. Alvin Hines is on his way to the UFC. So, and he just beat and finished Hugo Cunha. Denzel Freeman, it's a very difficult guy to like matchmake. Give him another fight. Find somebody, maybe a veteran could come into LFA, right? And fight Denzel Freeman, main event a show. But really, the former Greco wrestling fighter and current LFA champion needs just one more fight before we say, hey, Dana White Contender Series, or, you know, call up to the main roster. Either or work. Denzel Freeman is extremely talented, and I hope that he starts getting those bigger paychecks sooner than later. Next up, at 35 years old, I was not sure what to expect, but I was extremely impressed with the 5-0 Dragaton Jegdik. Dragaton is the definition of fast twitch. I mean, this dude is just so fast with his movements when he decides to throw at heavyweight. It's insane. Took his head off with that head kick, and then really nice. Oh god, that was a nasty knockout. But this guy has just done that to every single opponent, and you can see that dude is trying to take down the ref. Oh man, he got knocked out so bad. He's done that to everybody. He's done that to everybody. It's just like you're not expecting big guy, you know, that big old fella to have those moves. But he does, and he flashbang knockouts everybody. All 5 of his opponents, just like that. Now, 35 years old. Where can he go? Unfortunately, I'm gonna say, eventually, he's gonna run into somebody that takes it to him. Because he's too old. He's too old to really prosper at age 35 on such a tough scene. Like that Eurasian scene is so tough. Probably could go to KSW or Octagon, but it's not gonna be easy. And I don't think he'd even make it to a title fight. I'm gonna say this is like a regional level guy. And that's unfortunate because I feel like if this dude started 10 years younger, he could really make a name for himself in martial arts. But it's too late. It's too late. The dude would be what, like 37 fighting for a title? What is he gonna fight like he's not gonna make it past those Augusto Sakai's out there, those Will Flurries, those dudes are out there. He's just not gonna learn quick enough to make it past that level. But what he is bringing so far is pure aggression, speed, flair, and entertainment, and also one of the coolest names other than Arcadius, Dragaton. That's pretty awesome. And I hope he just somehow finds a ton of activity and just keeps knocking everybody out and can get what he wants to get in the world of martial arts. I just really wish that he was a little bit younger than 35, almost 36. Next up, this man is super interesting. He is a giant, 1-0 as a pro, Dylan Ryjic. Now, this guy fought in the WBC heavyweight tournament, like a heavyweight prospect tournament. I don't know if you guys remember that. They did one for every weight class, and he actually participated, and he shows that in his one fight that he had. He has very good boxing, and he didn't win in the WBC tournament fight, but still, to compete in boxing like that is very, very, very interesting. First off, let's appreciate FNC's entrances. That's awesome. 6'8" Goliath with Roman soldiers behind him, flames rising in the air. Come on, that's fucking sick. Alright, you ruined it. You ruined it, Dylan. You goddamn ruined it. Alright, so the fight begins. Let's see who he's gonna be competing against. Aw, come on, man. Dylan, you fucked up. That's gotta be animal cruelty. They're not even the same species, dog. That's animal cruelty. 6'8" versus what I'm gonna guess is like 5'9" and obese. And this dude is boxing in WBC tournaments for Turkey Al-Ashish. Oh, God. This one goes exactly how you would expect a fight between these two to go. And Dylan Ryjic is so... Jesus Christ. Yeah, the 1-2 backs him the F up, of course. Of course, I mean, he's gonna use his length. He has super long reach because he's 6'8", and he just demolishes this poor dude. Honestly, he just pummels him. Oh, that knee was nasty too. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Yikes. As for potential, super high. This guy could be something crazy because he's a 6'8", very nice boxer with just the intangibles to the max. And he's got time on his side too. Now, does he want to focus on mixed martial arts, or is he going to be trying to become a boxer? That's the only thing preventing me from saying, oh, this guy is the one to watch. Also, his opponent was wild looking. He was wild looking. But I mean, it was a tune-up fight, whatever. Dylan Ryjic, I could see him going to Fame, I could see him going to KSW, I could see him going to Octagon, I could see him going to the UFC, I could see him going to the PFL. I mean, when you're that young in your career, when you're 6'8" with great boxing, potential is going to be very high. What is he going to do? I have absolutely no idea. Potential depends if he wants to box. Next up is Alicia Ellison. Now, he is a very good fighter with the 5-1 record. But I will say, this fight was not, but like the fight itself wasn't bizarre. I think he looked very good. But just like, you'll see. This is the fight between Alicia Ellison and some Brazilian dude at heavyweight. What is Juliana Pena doing there? This man, I don't know why, man. It's really late at night. I've done a lot of research, and she's just looking at me, and I don't like it. It's not like this wasn't to promote a fight or anything. It's not like, hey, Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. This is the date. It's just Juliana Pena's on one of the corner buckles, and you have to deal with it. It's very distracting. Alicia Ellison is very high output and very fast for a heavyweight fighter. This guy really does have a lot of output and a lot of feints for a heavyweight. You don't really see that. I very, very much like the high output striking from Alicia Ellison. It's very interesting to see a guy constantly throw at heavyweight when obviously like that's the division where you have to expend the most energy, where stamina is not something commonly found. But this guy's got it. He's got good cardio that's going to help him. You can see he clunked his opponent. Standing soccer kicked him. And then got the TKO. And this man is actually one of Chase Hooper's teammates, which I find very interesting. I find that interesting partly because Chase Hooper's jiu-jitsu is very good. I wonder if Alicia Ellison is picking that up, because that would make him very well and very complete. Potential? This one is very easy. His potential will be determined this summer on Dana White's Contender Series, because he is already signed to fight. Hopefully he gets Brando Pedishek or whatever that dude's name is and F's him up for America. But seriously, if he wins his Dana White Contender Series fight, I think it'll be very telling to the future of his career. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But yeah, everything's kind of dependent on the fight that he's going to have in the summer on DWCS. Next up, a 3-0 kickboxer from Brazil. You maybe have seen this iconic photo before, Felipe Micheletti, but I have some shocking news, perhaps even controversial opinions on this man. First off, Mr. Allison shut down his opponent, doing his fighter render in a knockoff Clippers jersey is quite iconic himself. Now for the controversial part, I think Felipe Micheletti is not going to make it in MMA very far at all, because Allison Shadown was out-grappling him completely. I mean, he looked lost, like a lost little puppy on the ground. He's very lucky that Allison Shadown, his 3-5 selected opponent, did not have the proper submission skills to work well here. I think a lot of guys on this list would have Micheletti beat. Now, by some miracle, Micheletti did find a scramble from half guard, got away from Shadown, actually just kind of rolled him over, and then ground and pounded the 3-5 fighter. And the 3-5 fighter had no dog in him. He just curled up, you know, he was looking at the referee. He was like, please stop the fight. So I don't like Micheletti's chances as an MMA fighter. I think he's going to lose his next fight if he fights anybody that's difficult. I think that ground game is so weak. And honestly, his kickboxing looked very not like a kickboxer with a billion titles, in my opinion. The dude is nowhere near the level of an Arcadius Warsack, of even like a Brando, like Brando's just technique looked better. Dylan Rajic's technique looked better. For a crossover fighter, I'm not digging it. I think this dude is going to get fraud checked. Next up is Gabriel Rojas, a 5-0 undefeated Argentinian heavyweight mixed martial arts fighter. This was the only footage that I could find. I have no idea what to say. His hands look pretty fast. I mean, his hands look really fast for a heavyweight. But other than that, no idea. No idea what to even say about him. He's undefeated. Bring him into LFA. Have him fight Denzel Freeman. I don't know, man. Maybe he could do something crazy. I can't say nothing because this dude doesn't have fight footage. Next up at 6-1 is Russia's Gadzi Abdul Kadyrov, and this guy is actually quite promising. Alright, first thing with Gadzi, he has very good hand speed, which you're going to see, and I like his fight IQ as well. His opponent kept dipping in a little bit with his head, and Gadzi kept catching him with little hooks as he dipped over and over again. Gadzi's actually the one up against the cage right now, but that's not going to last too long. Every single little dip of the head from the opponent was severely punished by Gadzi, and Gadzi, with his quick hands, pressured up against the cage and put this dude away very nicely. Left hook, and then just the pummeling. So what do I think of this guy? Well, obviously for a heavyweight, he has good hands, but he was getting controlled against the cage by a guy who is not super highly rated, and that's got me questioning a little bit. So I'm going to say Gadzi's probably just going to go down the typical ACA Young Eagles path and kind of mess around in the heavyweight division, not really becoming the most dominant fighter. I'm gonna say that this dude is probably gonna be an ACA fighter, but there's holes in his game. I don't know if he could patch up by age, you know, whenever he hits his prime, because he's already 29, 6-1. But we will see. We will see. Next up, we have our Indian fighter. Let me pull up his name because I gotta make sure I know how to say this. All right, Ganganpal Singh Dua. Oh, 3-0 undefeated. Let me get started on Ganganpal. Oh, come on! What the fuck even is that? Ganganpal's hair is not doing well. Damn. This is truly diabolical. This is devious, Ganganpal. Come on, man. What even is that? Ah, man, he's got D cups. I don't care, man. This ain't fucking Roy Nelson. This dude's gonna get messed up, and he's grabbing his balls with Brock Lesnar shorts. What is he doing, man? Oh, Jesus Christ, Ganganpal. Oh my God. My God. Well, I know what's gonna happen. Yeah. It's a straight right, and then the hammer fist put him away. But I want to show you something, and you know, maybe he has power on the feet, and he looks good on the feet. I want to show you something pretty concerning about Ganganpal. What I present to you is the worst ground and pound I've ever seen in any MMA fight ever. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. The worst ground and pound I've ever seen. Get ready for this. What is he doing? What the fuck? What is he doing, man? I mean, it's not as bad as No, it's pretty bad. He's like flicking his wrists. He's not punching, he's like flicking his... I don't like this, man. I don't like this one bit. And this is round 1. He should be having a little bit of gas, man. Don't look at the referee to stop it. Fuck me. Oh my God. Wow. India. I'm gonna be blunt with you. Indian mixed martial arts, it's not quite to the level of these other places yet. And this guy's gonna go somewhere one day and he's gonna get messed up. That's probably what's gonna happen. Or he just becomes the ultimate regional Indian heavyweight and just keeps like stacking up wins against... I don't even know what that first dude was, but things like that. I would be genuinely delighted to be proven wrong, because I want more Indian representation in mixed martial arts. I feel like it's an untapped region with lots of potential, but what coach is teaching? Why is he throwing ground and pound like that? What coach is like you could look at YouTube videos of how to throw ground and pound, and you're gonna end up throwing better ground and pound than that. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not a good sign. But then again, you know, I'm down to be proven wrong. Next up was one of the best surprises in this video, and that is Gerardo Gastelum. This man breaks every single stereotype about a Mexican mixed martial arts fighter. I hope he doesn't break the having a good chin stereotype. He should keep that one. But most Mexican fighters are 145 and below. He is a natural heavyweight, so he's a big boy like Kane, and he is not a striker. This man brings his opponents down and uses some pretty good jiu-jitsu, submission grappling. Also, is that the Gaethje tattoo, or am I tripping? Either way, I like the tattoo a lot. It's very cool. Okay. Now, I like a few things about Gerardo Gastelum. Obviously, the ground game is very good. Being a natural Mexican heavyweight, haven't really seen that before. You know, so this is kind of like a newer archetype of fighter. He's nice from the clinch too. You're gonna see him clinch Luis Fernando up against the cage, and he's nice from there. He's very, very nice from there. I mean, right now he's just wrestling, but you know, I like the way that he gets. I mean, it's probably not easy to get hip control and do trips on like big boys like that, but I like the way that he's attacking that big old pot belly hanging out with those knees. That's exactly what you should be doing against a big boy like that. Does he reciprocate again with the knee? Oh no, he gets turned up against the cage. Nice elbow. Get away. Get away. His opponent over ambitiously comes in, starts trying to exchange heavily. He gets rocked with those elbows, and when Gerardo notices it, he smashes him on the ground. But he decides, you know what? That's not enough. I'm going to take your arm, hit you with that inverse Kimura, that good old Americana from the Mexicana fighter. And Gerardo Gastelum made himself a presence in the heavyweight scene of Mexico. Probably the top guy there right now at 3-0. The most interesting one to look out for. Absolutely. Now, that begs the question. With Gerardo Gastelum, what is next? What is his potential and where does he go? It's very difficult to say his path to the UFC because we've literally never had a Mexican heavyweight before. He would be the first, which I guess is a pretty big deal. So, maybe he could... I mean, Lux... I don't know, man. I think he should just keep doing what he's doing, rack up some wins, get a Dana White Contender Series spot if he can, and try to become the first Mexican heavyweight in the UFC. But really, his potential and his path, it's unknown because it's pretty unprecedented. Next up on the list, a very young fighter, and at just 4-0, he is super impressive, Giannis Kazantzidis. Now, in the first of two bouts that I'm about to showcase, you're going to see an absolute demolition of his opponent here. His opponent is going to shoot a takedown after catching a knee, single leg attempt, and those hammer fists and those elbows are super prevalent in the career of Giannis. He's very good at that. He does that all the time, and he breaks his opponent before he could capitalize on the advantageous position with that single leg. And Giannis looked like an absolute wrecking ball here, but let's see him go against a very tough Dagestani fighter, and let's watch him use pretty advanced mixed martial arts techniques to dissolve the wrestling presence and eventually get the win. An early teep kick is caught by the ankle and transitioned into a single leg by the Dagestani opponent. Giannis, keeping great composure, almost stays up to his feet, doesn't, but is immediately able to scramble, was thinking about a triangle, transitions into north-south, then gets up. Single leg is still held on by the Dagestani fighter, but look at that takedown defense and the scramble and just like the weight control wrestling, which you're going to see a guy who's all about that later, and almost puts him away right there. Very good stuff to start off for Giannis. Again, the wrestling from the Dagestani opponent is so undeniable, but if there is a person that can deny it, it is Giannis, because his takedown defense has looked so superb, as you're about to see. No stools necessary. There's that front kick that got caught. But look at this takedown defense. It is absolutely incredible. Not just here, but here. Look at that, man. Look at that. Touching the floor, and that's another angle of that belly to belly. And his opponent is probably getting a little bit frustrated because these Dagestani fighters, they're used to using their wrestling to dominate. They're not expecting a Greek to absolutely show such high-level grappling defense. Finding himself in referee's position, Giannis gets up and actually makes the Dagestani fighter wilt. He was the elbows kept coming all night, and I didn't like how the referee tried to interfere, damn it, because those were very legal shots. I have no idea what this bullshit was about, because I thought that those were clean strikes. But anyway, this is back to the fight now. A sprawl, and this opponent is done, man. This opponent is done. Giannis just takes him out with some mean hammer fists and hooks and knocks the Dagestani fighter out. on the ground. Now here we go, talking about the potential of Giannis. And look at those short elbows too. I love short elbows in mixed martial arts, especially guys with long reach doing it. And this kid's really young too. At just 25 years old, Giannis has already showed some truly impressive, just like defensive grappling and fight IQ moments inside of the cage. He also has a pretty high output as a striker on the feet, but usually he's fighting guys that aren't at a super high level yet, so they usually just crumple in the first couple of exchanges. But that fight with the Russian, man, that really made me go, wow, this kid's got a lot of potential, and I think that he could be something special. If he keeps training and he keeps improving the way that he is now, he's only 25. At heavyweight, it's like, you're 25, you got about 17 years left in your career. So if Giannis keeps going and could keep it all together, he will probably be something pretty special in mixed martial arts. Next up on the list is Islambek Balibek Ulu. All those Ulu surname guys are from Kyrgyzstan, and this guy is actually the Octagon heavyweight champion, Octagon with the C. Now, Islambek actually follows a very common stereotype with fighters. This guy, we've seen him carbon copies of dudes like this a lot of times, but never from Kyrgyzstan. He is a wrestler with a precision, hard-hitting overhand, and he's up against a pretty tough Russian fight. I mean, dude's got a weird build on him, but no, this is a legit opponent. And Balibek Ulu, I like the way that he's staying at range. I like the way that he's protecting himself using that jab to back his opponent up. Islambek has a pretty simple fighting style. When he was not successful on the feet, he was like, alright, I'm sick of this, and he shoots a very nice takedown, and he takes Mr. Rudak down, where, Ulu isn't the strongest on top. You could probably scramble out of his takedowns, but being able to mix it up is still a very good factor when you're a heavyweight. Both opponents gassed out by the third round. Rudak was definitely showing more signs of an empty gas tank than Balibek Ulu, and Balibek Ulu was going to make him pay for that dearly, because he found one of the sickest combinations I've ever seen in my entire life. He used that patented overhand, right, and then he chained it into a front kick, which you're about to see here, which is absolutely so nasty. And Balibek Ulu capped off his win, fulfilled his dream of becoming an MMA heavyweight champion in the Octagon promotion. Now, Islam Balibek Ulu, unlike these other Uzbekistani guys, he's only 28, so he probably does have time he's still in that growth period as a fighter. So I think he's probably going to do well in Octagon for a while. There's not really too many guys fighting there there's a lot of kind of like these Eurasian guys on the list that are pretty good, but they haven't found their way into Octagon yet. So I think Balibek Ulu has a while on top, and I think potentially he could go somewhere, but most likely you're not going to see this dude in the UFC, but who knows? Who knows? Anything could happen, and he is on quite a run so far, and he's got, a little bit of a few more folds in his game than I initially thought. That combo was so sick. If he could keep doing creative and flashy stuff like that, maybe we could see Balibek Ulu rise sooner than later. Next up is Ismail Sadulayev. This guy is 6-1, another Eurasian fighter from Uzbekistan. Alright, first off, dude is a chubster. Second off, what the F? I've never seen a ginger Uzbekistani before. Never have I ever until now. With this angle, he doesn't even look ginger, but trust me, he's got a ginger beard, he's got some auburn hair, and he is a grappler, and he almost got anaconda choked himself. He is like, F it, I'm gonna do the same to you, and I'm gonna roll you up in the snake charmer choke itself. The beautiful anaconda. Nice little right by Ismail. But yeah, this guy is shorter, he's way stockier than a lot of the other guys, but that single leg was nice, and the way that he rolls into this anaconda choke was very, very creative, even though his opponent just did it about, 30 seconds ago. It was still very creative. He tried to finish him with strikes too. Ismail is a very interesting fighter. Now, I just think like a really, really tough guy, even on the Uzbekistani regional scene. might give Ismaili some problems, but I do like that he has a creative ground game. Look at this, as he does sink the Anaconda choke in, gets it right under the chin, and then the good old roll, and his opponent has to immediately succumb to the pressure of the Anaconda. Honestly, I view Ismaili as a surprising sign of the depth of the Uzbekistani heavyweight division. I don't know why they got so many guys right now. They are popping off. They're absolutely popping off. But honestly, I don't think he's the best of the Uzbekistani guys. So I'm going to say he's going to challenge for some titles in Uzbekistan. He's not going to win. But eventually when those guys start to fade, he could pick one up. I don't know. He's going to be a top Uzbekistani contender. But I don't know if he's going to beat the likes of an Azamat or some of these other dudes. Next up on the list, the lone representative from Canada, the one and the only, Jake Craig. Jake Craig would fall under the category of stand and bang. This man was rocking his opponent with every single jab that connected, and he also takes a couple of detours to have bare knuckle fights on occasion. Now this dude is the only guy from Canada, and luckily for the Maple Leaf country, he is pretty damn good, and he hits pretty damn hard. Constantly peppering his opponent up and rocking him with jabs, Sean Pereira actually showed a fantastic chin in this fight for sure, because a lot of other dudes got knocked out by Jake Craig at this point. Jake Craig was like, F it, mercy killing stoppage, referee saw enough. Sean Pereira could not, really return anything. He was just like a Homer Simpson type of punching bag for the Canadian Jake Craig. And the referee was just like, F it, I'm going to stop this fight. That's a lot of unanswered strikes, even on the feet. And his opponent had no complaints. Now I'll tell you exactly what this dude is going to do next. This man is going to step in the octagon with Arhan Buller, and he's going to knock him damn clean out, and all of Canada will rejoice. Jake Craig, I am counting on you to rid the Canadian scene of Arhan Buller. Now, all the way in Fort Wayne, Indiana, is Big Bruce. That is his nickname. That is a fantastic nickname for the 4-0 undefeated American fighter, Gerard Winston. Now, watching Gerard Winston's game, it seems like he's very, very well-rounded, which I like. And he's also like a natural heavyweight, 6'3", big old boy. Not like this dude that he's fighting, who's 5'9". Gerard Winston, very good everywhere. I love this moment a lot. He kind of like... It was a weird type of scramble. I think it comes on a little later, so let me cut that clip. Absolutely not satisfied with being held up against the cage, he finds a standing Kimura, and he gets it. He absolutely sinks it in very, very well. I love that little moment of creativity. That's what makes you a good fighter, man, when you can just find something out of nowhere. And that was one of the nastiest Kimuras I've seen in a while. Sunk it in, made the dude do a forward roll. And then he actually let go for a little bit so he could get into side control and execute the maneuver properly. Turned it into an Americana. And then, of course, Mr. Watkins had to tap out. And, yeah, Gerard Winston, if he could keep showing a little bit of ingenuity like that, he's going to go pretty far in American heavyweight mixed martial arts. But, I will say, there are some really tough guys out there right now. You know, America is a blossoming scene, and when you're already 4-0, it's probably time to start taking those harder fights. Look, Gerard Winston, his last opponent was 5-0. I don't think he was a good 5-0, but he was 5-0. Gerard Winston dealt with him. He comes out with the damn spinner belt. I say let this guy test the waters in LFA, because we're kind of needing some more heavyweights in there. That's the UFC's kind of prime feeder league, and all these guys are kind of getting closer to be ready to graduate up to the main roster. Let's get Gerard Winston in LFA, let's build up his name, and let's see where he could go in MMA. Next up is Yoel Fallier. This dude is so damn good. This is a very, very impressive, undefeated amateur and pro out of the USA. Very unfortunately, I cannot put this guy's last name on screen, or this video will get flagged for hate speech, which absolutely sucks because it's just a last name. But Yoel is a very, very high-level wrestler who made his way into mixed martial arts, where he has been the utmost dominant of fighters. As you're gonna see, Oze Abuna all the way from West Africa, does not stand a chance against the American grappling of Yoel F.A. Lier. And this dude is so damn good. Now, this was really nice because you don't see a lot of big boys transition into, like, choke from choke. But this guy's grappling, I mean, he was a Georgia wrestler. Obviously, he's going to have some good wrestling. Look at that. Body triangle, thought he was going to get the rear naked. Set up that arm triangle absolutely beautifully. Of course, a high-level wrestler like this is going to be executing some very nice pressure grappling inside of the cage. He's almost finished every single one of his opponents, which I guess is not too uncommon for heavyweights. But nowadays, you see a lot more decisions. This guy is not one of those. He is a finisher through and through. As for potential, I think Yoel, just like Gerard Winston, at this point, he is well equipped to go to LFA and start getting on the UFC's radar, or, you know, whatever company he wants to go to. I think this guy will have a easier time just like getting some wins, just because his wrestling is so good, and a lot of these big boys can't grapple. I think everybody knows that. Well, he can, so he might be a little bit of an issue going forward in the heavyweight division. Next up is Josh Hockett, the Incredible Hawk. This guy is amazing. I was so I cannot believe I didn't know who this was before. I mean, this is the heavyweight Colby Covington. This is to Jared Van Dier was like, who's entertaining on the mic at heavyweight? Just Derek Lewis and Josh Hockett. Bro, this is a dude I want to see in the UFC so bad. I hope this guy is super successful. Let's get into his fight style. Alright, so obviously, right, this guy's a heavyweight, so he's not going to be pressure boxing, but other than that, like volume boxing, but other than that, the dude is exactly, I mean, he's pretty much like a carbon copy of Colby Covington. He's an American wrestler, you know, he likes the back take when he can get it, and he's not bad. What the fuck? But I don't know what that was. Yo, this is Bellator. Why would Bellator be like that? As you can see, former 49ers player for the NFL. Loves to take the back, squeeze out his opponents. He's very, very good on the ground, and not bad on the feet. He's defensively good on the feet, and he's offensively good on the ground. And that makes for a very entertaining fighter. I hope that he could do this at a really high level. And you're going to see he's about to squeeze the shit out of Mr. Rose's neck, and he's about to get that signature rear naked choke win. Sorry, he's in a rear naked choke position. It's kind of like a modified backpack. Was landing some decent ground and pound there. I like this moment a lot. This shows some very, very good fighting skill. He's like, you know what? That rear naked choke's not there, but you know what is there? I don't care if I'm a heavyweight. Arm bar, and look how he sinks it in. Man, this dude can fight. This dude can fight. This dude can grapple, and as you're about to see, this dude can talk.
Listen, heavyweights, when you sign the contract to fight me, don't even bother to train. You guys already lost. You guys are fat and slow and lazy. You guys probably support Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Barack Obama. It is disgraceful. I'm here to bring justice to the heavyweight division. And I'm gonna wipe you guys out one by one. Mark my words. And P.S. Michelle Obama is a man.
And P.S. Michelle Obama is a man.
Worship job. Michelle Obama is a man. Put this guy on Dana White's Contender Series already. I mean, I think he is signed to Dana White's Contender Series. That's where he belongs. Let him give him an easy fucking fight. Give him Gunga Paul. Let him get in the UFC, man. Let him bring some entertainment that's so damn needed to the heavyweight division. Let him bring it. Let's go, Incredible Hawk. I want to see this guy in the rankings in 2026. I'm all aboard the hype train, the Hawk train. Let's go, Josh Hockett. Jovan Leka is a guy I'm also very, very high on. This dude is a 6'5" athletic heavyweight with some real potential because I think he's just 24 or 25 years old. Jovan Leka is scary because, I mean, he does not move like a heavyweight. He's built like a heavyweight, but he's just throwing shit that like a flyweight would. Like, I mean, he's not fast necessarily. He just has crazy dexterity. I mean, I've seen this dude just have like bendy ass limbs, and he keeps coming forward, and he's nasty with it too. And he's so young. Jovan Leka looking good at 23 years old. You know, trying to make this dude bite on a feint. I don't think this guy is like, what is that, D-Rod's uncle. I mean, Jovan Leka obviously clears this guy. But what he did show is a lot of patience, because a lot of dudes were just like, alright, bum rush this fatty. But Jovan Leka didn't want to do that. He's throwing switch kicks to the body. You know, he's dodging these Superman jabs from Afonso. And he's beating up the leg, but all he's really doing is looking for that big head kick, which eventually he's going to find. He just keeps trying to like find the moment when the guard drops, and then he's going to throw it. But you do see that he has the ability to just be very quick if he wants to. Leg kick, sweep him off his feet. Jovan Leka saying, "You're about to be my effing prey." And yeah, he chases him down, body hook. I also like the staggering like teep kicks and front kicks that Jovan Leka throws. Oh, that leg kick was... Alright, this is just disrespectful. Jovan Leka does throw a head kick, but that was a bow after you just humiliated him. Nice, Jovan Leka. Alright. This is a fight where he set up a beautiful head kick. Look at that stance switch, and then the left head kick just absolutely made his opponent crash down. He uses a high volume of kicks in his fights, like a surprising amount of these fighters do, and that's a telltale sign of a very, very, very good heavyweight. Jovan Leka at just 23 years old is already very, very good. He's actually taking some tougher fights. A lot of the opponents' records are like 16-5, 5-0. You know, there's a lot of really good talent that he's actually going in there and finishing. I think Jovan Leka is an incredible prospect. I think time is going to be a super nice factor with this dude. This guy's just 23 years old. He's like, I mean, in any other division, he'd be like 17. Like, this is a very young athlete. A very young athlete for heavyweight, and I think that this dude has UFC potential. I could just see it happening one day. I mean, if he just stays consistent, he keeps getting better. You know, how does he not make the UFC? How does he not make a big organization? This guy already is a super decent prospect. I like Jovan Leka a lot. I think this dude is absolutely brimmed with potential. Next up is Kasper Pagzowski, a 2-0 giant heavyweight, all the way from Poland. Now here's the thing with Kasper. Obviously being a 6'8" giant at heavyweight, right? You would expect him to have knockout power, and he does. He definitely has knockout power. But he is not really... he's not good at just swinging and letting loose. Like, he's very tight, he doesn't swing very hard, and I just don't really get it. I don't really understand why he's not swinging with all 6'8" of his frame. You know, like... I don't even know what the hell that dude was thinking he was gonna do, but it's just like he doesn't like hit very fast, and he doesn't swing very hard. And I know that he can. I just don't know why he doesn't utilize that more. Yet again, we have another example of Kasper not swinging with all of his might. These little like pitter-patter punches. I mean, eventually his opponent is just like, all right, I'm done. But I don't get it. When you're big and you're powerful, wouldn't it be effective to use as little movements as you can, instead of just like using a volume of strikes to eventually wear the guy out? You know, just controlling him with your enormous frame. I don't get it at all. That's my only issue with Kasper. Overall, I find it really hard to judge this guy, because he's a behemoth, he's 6'8", but he doesn't place his shots very well, and he doesn't really swing on them either. And I don't know if that's because he doesn't want to just like end the lives of the dudes who he's like fighting, or if he just doesn't know how to really put any like power on his shots. I don't know what it could be, but 6'8", big heavyweight, a mobile 6'8" fighter, kind of got that Tim Sylvia archetype, just with his body and with his like, you know, kicks and smothering and punches. I think Kasper's very, very, very interesting as a fighter. I have to keep saying like time will tell, but really time will tell, because I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or if he just... Either way, he needs to start just swinging on those punches and really putting some power behind them, because those dudes eating like a million shots from a 6'8" behemoth isn't a good look. Next up, from Uzbekistan, a 5-0 undefeated fighter, it is Kursherdbek Bozer-Boev. Now, I am not a big, I'm not really big on this dude becoming somebody super good at heavyweight, but he's about to debut for one championship, which is super interesting. I think he's gonna lose, in my opinion, because he's only been fighting guys that are 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 1-2 his entire career, and the 1-2 guy that he fought is now 1-3. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's just like, I feel like this dude is just taking on some jobbers in Uzbekistan, and I feel like he's pretty slow, but he's an okay grappler. He's not very bad on the mat. You know, he has some okay grappling, but he's a little bit out of shape. I don't see this dude. I don't see this dude beating the likes of the other Uzbekistani fighters. I think this dude is gonna be like a regional Uzbekistani guy for life. No video for this one. This is purely a rant. This is the 6'9" heavyweight from Korea, Ed Polo King. I could break him down completely just off the top of my head. So Ed Polo King fought in these this crazy Japanese promotion, and he won via flying stomp. He got signed to Ryzen, where he's knocked out both of his opponents. He is the definition of goofy. His limbs are goofy, his length is goofy, he hits very, very hard, but there is a big issue with his grappling that he is slowly working on. And, you know, I was kind of upset that he wasn't in the Ryzen Grand Prix, but then I was like, you know what, this dude would probably just get out-grappled in the Ryzen Grand Prix. So I'm glad that he wasn't in the Ryzen Grand Prix. I'm glad that he's making a name for himself in Japan. He's slowly rising up, and with Ryzen's production team behind him and their ability to promote, if Ed Polo King could stay consistent and could actually just rack up a couple of wins, he is going to be an effing superstar in Japan. He's already, you know, in talks with Alex Pereira, hanging out with Alex Pereira. God knows what they're doing. Hopefully, you know, Pereira's giving him tips. Hopefully, Pinero, or whatever his name is you know, giving him some advice. Just imagine this dude gets Glover as like a grappling coach somehow. Ryzen would be, I mean, that would be Ed Polo King's domain. And honestly, a super marketable, goofy, fun-loving, interesting heavyweight. This guy is potentially the future of Japanese heavyweight until my boy JVD goes on a bulk. Next up, we have a 4-0 undefeated fighter from Brazil, the baby monster, Levi Rodrigues. I like this guy. He's very interesting. He's in between LFA and Brazilian regionals. Hopefully he could go win a few and then challenge for that LFA title. No, I can't lie. Even for a heavyweight, Levi Rodrigues has some really low output, and he's a complete headhunter, as you're gonna see. He just jabs, breathes. I mean, he eats punches too. He's got a crazy chin. He's got a big old face on him, you know, and he doesn't really like to throw a bunch of punches at once. He stays on the outside, just waiting for that big shot. But damn it, he has found it every single time. Now, throughout this fight, Levi Rodrigues maintained a pace that was a little bit slower, right? Even getting caught, I mean, yeah, he gets hit a lot, and he's just a headhunter. He didn't really throw the most amount of strikes that you would like him to, but when you're as powerful as you're about to see, and when you could just keep going, like Levi Rodrigues, the baby monster, can, you're gonna have a lot of success in the octagon. Stuff that takedown towards the end of the round. Now, his opponent, already heavy breathing on his stool, right? His opponent threw and threw, could not get Mr. Rodrigues out of there. Baby monster, cool, calm, and collected, and his coach is giving him some decent advice right now. Meanwhile, as you can see, his opponent drinking that water up and, you know, not having the most fun time in there. Now, Levi Rodrigues has some crazy power stored in him. I don't know where he gets it from, because he doesn't look like the type of dude that takes heads off, but he just does. He just really does. And, you know, this is a guy leaning up on the cage. He's tired. He's sweating. Levi Rodrigues knows that the time to just, like, stall on the feet is over, and it's time for the headhunter to take some heads. So round 2 is going to begin here. They're sweeping up the octagon for sweat. I mean, that's interesting in between rounds. I don't really see guys with a mop in there. All right. But anyway, round 2 starts, and his opponent is significantly gassed, and Levy Rodriguez, obviously, I mean, you could see it in his face, he notices it. Levy comes forward, I think a little touch of gloves, yep, and then Levy Rodriguez does what he does best, and finally hunts for that head. Now, I don't know if I like this style of super low output until you find a big shot. I'm not necessarily sure it's going to be successful. It's interesting to watch, I suppose, because, you know, a guy that's more active is probably going to do something nasty to Levi. Or maybe Levi could catch him inside the pocket coming in, who knows. As for potential, this guy is on the regional scene in LFA and in Brazil right now. I think I said this before. I think he is, I don't know if he's going to beat a guy like Denzel Freeman, but if he could win his next one against a lower level Brazilian guy, which he's currently scheduled for, and bring him in, main event, Denzel Freeman, that actually works really well. Winner of that could get something big. He'd be 5-0 if he could get another W. I would say he's like 2 away from something really big. That's what his potential is at. He's 2 wins away from something very, very big. And, you know, maybe just one more win before an LFA title shot. He's a very decent talent, but a low output fighter, which I don't know if that's going to be super effective in the heavyweight division, where people usually just come out swinging from the gates. Next up is Magomed Saidov, a 7-0 Armenian, Russian, and this man is a good contender for the #1 heavyweight prospect in the world. Now, this man certainly has a little bit of stoicism to him, a lot of Mirko Cro Cop similarity. I mean, there's a lot of fucking new Mirko Cro Cops coming up right now, but this dude overall gotta be #1. Staying on the defensive with the wrestling, pushing his opponent away, not wanting that business one bit. This man is all about that roundhouse kick, that head kick, whether it be left or whether it be right. Saidov is just very, very fantastic at landing the shot, and he's done it so many times. All 7 of his wins have been knockouts, which I find very impressive because he's not fighting bums. He's not a can crusher, which you're going to see maybe a couple more can crushers. But look at that wheel kick! Wheel kick out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting it. Finishes that dude like nothing. You're about to be blessed with another Magomed Saidov highlight. This guy's patience and feints on the feet are so effective. I love his kick to the body that he's about to hit. And I love that left head kick, man. Left this dude absolutely starched. Didn't know where to go. The man was out cold. The man was absolutely decimated by Magomed Saidov. That's just the type of fighter that he is. This dude has destroyed everybody. He's submitted people too. He's got an okay grappling game. And he's just knocking people out now with that head kick. And I'm just like, man, we're kind of, this dude is really good. And this dude should be on a bigger stage, shouldn't he? Up and up and up the ranks of mixed martial arts. And who is going to stop Magomed Saidov? Because he has been taking the heads off of every single opponent. And they're not like cans either. He's just been making absolute mincemeat out of respectable competition. And I don't know what's next for him. UFC, PFL, I just want to see him fight. I want to see this guy take off the head of somebody a little bit higher level. Get him in there, let him mix it up in a higher league, because this dude is making such an impressive name for himself already. I don't want to see him wasted on the regional scene any longer. This man deserves an immediate shot somewhere. He will definitely catch the attention of the crowd in any arena where he performs in next. Next up on the list, it is not Muhammad Ali, it is Muhammad Ali, a BJJ player from Brazil, a fantastic BJJ player from Brazil. This is a super high level submission grappler. I mean, this is like a very, very, very good submission grappler. There's one better than Muhammad Ali that we're going to see later on this list, but this dude is a fantastic grappler. And I'm kind of thinking that he might be really good, because look at what he's doing in mixed martial arts right now. Despite being a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player, Muhammad Ali is purely using his kickboxing skills that he's picked up so far to fight, and damn it, he is doing it very well. You can see that takedown there, and then just smashes him with ground and pound. He's just like, hey, I know that I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player. That elbow was crazy. He's like, I know I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu phenom, but instead of doing any of that, I'm just going to use my hands, I'm going to use my striking, and he has absolutely melted all of his opponents so far. Now, as for the potential of Muhammad Ali, I have heard some rumors already that he's been signed, I think, to the PFL. I'm pretty sure this dude is going to be on the PFL. Let me just double check with that. It may have just been a rumor, but I do know another super high-level submission grappler that signed with the PFL that you guys will see later. Muhammad Ali, though, I mean, man, he has a huge following, a huge presence from his BJJ career, and now he's knocking people out with his hands and, you know, using his legs too. He's kickboxing. This guy is 31 years old, but a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu base and some pretty decent kickboxing could go pretty far. I could see this guy, although being a little bit older, I could see him being rushed to a big spot, and rightfully so, because he's put in the work being a Lloyd Irving Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Next up, another guy from Brazil. This is the youngest heavyweight prospect in the entire world. At just 21, already 4-0, is Marcelo de Lima. Marcelo de Lima is extremely impressive because he is taking breaks from mixed martial arts to go pursue other sports. He just won a semi-prestigious boxing tournament. The dude is very, very interesting. All of his finishes and all of his fights have ended dominantly where he picked up a stoppage in the first round. No, this is ripped right off of his Instagram. Some of the only fight footage I could find. Aura. He's got aura. He's got aura, man. He said it himself. Aura. Lots of it. Lots of aura from Marcelo. No, seriously though, I mean the kid, a little cringe post, but whatever. He's a heavyweight and he is very, very, very good for being 21 years old. The dude has unfathomable potential. I like that he's doing these crossover tournaments. I like that he's winning. You know, he's doing BJJ, he's doing boxing, he's doing that on top of mixed martial arts. I don't know how into MMA he is, but if he dedicates his life to this, man, we're gonna have a real problem on our hands because this guy is very well rounded and very, very good. Now that being said, he doesn't really have an area of expertise. There's nowhere I see where he's like extremely just like fully developed and elite. He's still honing his craft. He's 21 years old. This is footage from his boxing tournament that he won. And you know, that hand speed is looking good. Everything about Marcel, he's a natural heavyweight as well. Everything about a 21-year-old natural heavyweight coming in and demolishing everybody that is put in front of him. That's pretty appealing. Pretty appealing. I think the guy's got a ton of potential. Obviously too young for me to give you a career trajectory on Mr. Marcelo. Now it's no secret that this is an insanely long video. The amount of effort, time, and energy it took for me to produce this was just absolutely, I mean, I'm not comfortable disclosing how many hours went into this video, but quite a lot, right? Watching all of these fights, breaking down techniques, understanding who these fighters are, where their talent level is at, what they're good at, what they're bad at. It's a lot of tape study, and it is going to be a lot of editing, a lot of recording. There's my puppy in the background. And I just want to say, if you could please just do me a solid, not even asking you to super chat or anything like that, just like the video and comment, share it with people if you can, if you know people that are interested in this type of video. I would really hope that this one gets at least like 1,000 views, because that would be very helpful. This is a really, really, really long one. Hope you guys have all enjoyed so far. Let's get back to the world of heavyweight martial arts with another Brazilian. This guy is a 21 to 4-1. I am talking about Mario Souza. Now, Mario Souza is extremely interesting because he's a Dana White Contender Series guy at middleweight who had a really bad opponent. He had Ikram Aliskerov, right? He got beat up by Ikram. Now he's just like, F it. I'm going to bulk up and I'm going to beat up the worst guy. Well, not the worst guys, but I'm going to beat up these fat dudes in Brazil and just let myself be my natural weight when fighting and just absolutely demolish them and shine my record up. So he's now 21 to 4, having a lot of fights like the one you're about to see, and he still gets hit a lot too, which I noticed as well. He's still just like a brawler who gets hit a lot. Not in this fight particularly, he kind of just smashes this dude. But he's okay with getting hit. He still gets hit. His flying knee was pretty cool. The elbows, I mean, he crumples that little guy really badly. Now, he's still a wild brawler. He still gets hit a lot. He's very big. He's very stylistically fun. He's not fighting the best guys that he can, but wait a second, does that make him perfect for the UFC? A dude with a super shiny record. He's super big. You know, he has a very interesting story, being beaten at middleweight and then saying, F it, I'm gonna go to Fight Music Show and all these little crazy places in Brazil and just smash dudes. I am kind of really down with Mario Souza. I think that this could be a very good dude to bring in. Maybe if you have I'm not saying that he's bad, but let's just say you have a prospect you really want to get in the UFC. Maybe Mario Sosa could fight him, and Mario Sosa's an imposing figure with a big record. And maybe we could see Mario Sosa take a loss. I mean, or maybe he could get in the UFC finally. I'm just saying this dude would be perfect in the position to either let somebody in the UFC, or imagine he goes, you know, now 22, 23, and 4, and now he's in the heavyweight division. Now it's like, all right, maybe this guy ain't too bad after all if he could win on Dana White's Contender Series. I like Mario Sosa. I like what he's doing. I like that he's not cutting weight. I like how naturally he shifted into being a heavyweight. I like it. And I think Mario Sosa is not too bad. Very entertaining style. He's a big striker who's not afraid to get hit. We need more of that. I would put him on Dana White's Contender Series personally. But, you know, maybe he'll just go to LFA or some other promotions in South America and make a name for himself when he feels like it. When he's done with beating up these little fat guys in Brazil. If he ever is done with that. Next up is the one and only Bad Matt Adams. I'm not sure what to make of this cat, because although he is a very great wrestler, a Virginia State wrestler, I'm just like, damn man, you are not big for heavyweight, one bit. And I don't know if you're Daniel Cormier, because if you're going to be 5'10", at heavyweight, you gotta be Daniel Cormier. Or Chris Barnett, I guess. As we can see, Bad Matt Adams rocks his opponent with the right cross, and then just buries himself into that takedown, where Cavallari was an absolute sitting duck, because Bad Matt Adams, of course, is a Virginia State wrestler. He has very good grappling, and he's pretty damn heavy on top. I mean, that is a lot of human being packed in a 5'10". But let me tell you something. I don't particularly know if this body type is going to last that long at heavyweight, because guys at heavyweight now, I was talking to somebody, right, and they were telling me, like, heavyweights are, these 265 guys are all cutting down. There's a lot of heavyweights that are like 285, 300 pounds, just big dudes. And Matt Adams, I don't think his body type is gonna let him go super far. Like, what happens if somebody just clinches him and starts kneeing his belly and elbows? Like, what would Tai Tuivasa do to this guy if, you know, Matt Adams initiated a clinch? We gotta maybe cut down, you know, because he's very talented. Very talented. Now, I don't think he's gonna cut down. I think he's gonna stay at heavyweight. And, yeah, Fury FC, CFFC, those places are perfect for Bad Matt Adams. I think he is in LFA already, so maybe a matchup with some other guy in LFA. Maybe Steve Asplund, Matt Adams could be cool. That would be probably a good fight. That would probably be like a #1 contender fight for Asplund, but I don't know. I mean, where does this guy go? He has a good record. He's 4-1 in the United States. He uses his wrestling well. Virginia State wrestler, but once again, he's just a little bit small to be a MMA heavyweight at 5'10". But do not get confused. There are a lot of guys that Matt Adams could beat. That will be all on Bad Matt Adams. Next up is Maxwell Nana with a record of 6-1, an extremely powerful Cameroonian striker with ridiculous knockout power. Sound familiar? Let's enter the boxing of Nana. He is 100% an inside-outside boxer, using his arm length and his reach super well. This guy wants to hit you when his head is like 5 feet back. I mean, this guy will knock you out while not being in range for you to return with any offense. And as you can see, he has massive, massive power. I like Nana a lot. This guy is definitely going to be in the PFL Africa tournament, which is awesome. So, how does he do against the other guys? I don't know. He's really fun. He's really, really, really fun. Africa has a few guys that are really good right now. This is one of them. I love the way that he strikes. I like that he keeps his head so far back while his arms, I mean, he must have like an 80-something inch reach. His arms are just so far extended. You're not able to do anything about it. You're not able to return with the jab. You're not able to interrupt his combinations because, you know, he's all the way back there and his arms are just, you know, touching your chin. That guy had a thick beard. His punch sliced through that goatee and had that dude on the floor unconscious. I like Nana a lot, but is he one-dimensional? Perhaps. Now, in the one loss that he did have, and albeit that was to super hot UFC prospect, the undefeated Mario Pinto, who is just really, really tearing it up right now, he did not look good on the ground. He did not look good on the ground at all. He looked a little bit lost, and I wonder if somebody eventually is going to expose that fold of his game, or if he patched that up in the 6 fights that came after his debut loss to Mario Pinto. However, as he is in the PFL Africa tournament and he is slotted to go up against the Lazy King, Mikel Grogu, I think that Maxwell Nana is going to tear his head straight off of his body with that super powerful inside-outside boxing. Unless Mikel could somehow survive long enough to take it to the ground, but he just went to a decision with a 5-7 fighter. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Maxwell Nana is at least going to win this fight and make it to the semifinals of the PFL Africa tournament. Next up is the one and the only, the world's oldest looking 25-year-old, Miha Frillik. I cannot believe this dude was only 25. This man looks like he's seen 3 Bosnian wars and his fair share of just like outside bare knuckle gypsy boxing tournaments. But no, this is a 25-year-old MMA heavyweight prospect. Let's see how he fights. Showing great takedown defense in the fights that I've watched, he sets up his power shots so beautifully. The bulky, mock truck-like Frillik only needs one to put you away, and I like this dude's fights. I like a lot of these guys' fights. Heavyweight is getting excited again. Frillik and all of these guys are behind it. Man, I think Frillik is a KSW. Absolute pick. Pick him up. Let him knock some heads off. Let him clash with other titans in that division. Or honestly, he's just like, what's his record? I think 4-1, or yeah, 4-0. Let him actually just crush a few more guys just like that. Surprising speed on such a bulky, big muscular fighter too. Miha Frillik from Slovenia is absolutely somebody that I would like to watch, especially eventually fight some of these other power punchers inside of the new heavyweight division. Alright, Mikio Ueda. I don't think I could show footage from Ryzen, unfortunately, but let me tell you about this guy very quick. A karate fighter actually from Japan, a natural Japanese heavyweight fighter. He has great kicks, he has a great chin, and he has nasty knees. He's 5-2. He is currently in the Ryzen Heavyweight Grand Prix, and his losses were to somebody I know, right? Yeah, so he lost to Kosaka, which is insane. In 2022, he lost to the first guy to beat Fedor. Alright, so that's insane. And then the Premise Law loss wasn't that good either, but the Taein Kim win was insane. And then he smoked through Shoma Shibiase at Otaku Matsuri, and he has been looking very good in his last 2 fights. That heavyweight karate style and 6'2" length is finally starting to come through for the 30-year-old Japanese heavyweight fighter. I think he's the only Japanese MMA heavyweight who's like a really good prospect right now. But Ueda, if he could keep this karate stance up, this bladed stance, these nasty kicks, I am looking forward to finally seeing maybe a bigger Japanese guy have a lot of success in the world of mixed martial arts. Next up, from Montenegro, a 5-0 fighter, Milenko Stamatovic. Now let me tell you about Milenko, okay? He is 30 years old, he hits super hard, he has great he has good fundamentals, but he doesn't have any sort of gas tank at all. He does hit really hard though, so the power makes up for it. So he drops him, crazy flurry, can't finish him immediately, and then just lays on top of this dude for like the entire fight. I kid you not, you're watching the fight at 30 times speed. Alright? This guy gassed so effing quick. 30 times speed still kind of feels slow. I'm like, what do I even talk about? But this dude does have crazy knockout power in FNC, right? Damn, this 30 times speed is not going by quick enough. He has crazy knockout power, but he just has an abysmal gas tank. He cannot last more than like a minute before he's like huffing and puffing, and he ended up winning that fight due to an injury. And as you're about to see, the fans of FNC very much dislike Milenko. Oh, this is painful to watch. That man can barely stay on the feet. Prepares fighters for the worst. No one improves there. They're worse there. Shouted to hell. And my Black Milenko It's more interesting to watch a freshly painted wall drying. Lecca would dominate them. Shout out Jovan Lecca. How will someone reset the Kiko to factory settings and this will be the end of his career? Uses. And this Joseph, 44 years old. The fact that you are going to celebrate against a man this much older shows how small a man you really are. Kiko is celebrating who got Jones, not this mummy, and that's hardly enough. I have no idea what most of these are trying to say, but I find them very funny. My favorite hate comment that Malenko got was, this fight was similar to as if I was watching 100 pensioners on vacation, for they simply did not move at all. I thought that was really funny. Where does Malenko go? Probably stays in FNC, probably fights Jekka, probably gets beat up by Jekka pretty bad. Yeah, Jekka's cannon. Wait, Jekka's not his effing name. What the hell? Oh my god, I'm losing it. I am losing it. I've been doing this for so long. Lecca. Jovan Lecca. This is Jovan Lecca's cannon fodder. A Jovan Lecca future victim. And, yeah, man, those hate comments were incredible. Next up is Mirza Hopovac, a 2-0 Bosnian, now fighting and training and living out of Canada. And man, I wish this guy was not 34. I wish he was a young up-and-comer trying to make his name in mixed martial arts because he has such monstrous power. He is the hardest hitting guy out of anybody on this entire list, but he's probably not even looking to do MMA as a career. You could see he just comes forward, he swings, and he takes heads off, and that's what he's done to both of his opponents. I believe this is the man. Yup, this is the man whose both pro wins have came in under 30 seconds, destroyed a Mexican fighter, destroyed that man out cold. Under 30 seconds, I wish this guy was more active. The potential, it's just not really there because, I mean, he's busy, he's got a life. He's not trying to be a pro MMA fighter, but if he was, he would be a lot of fun. Next up on the list, a fighter that I have already extensively covered. I have an interview with this guy, Moreno Kyakhapur. Moreno Kyakhapur, the Kung Fu Panda. I mean, I already have done all the media that I can on him, but I mean, maybe another interview, because he's going to be fighting a former Dana White Contender Series guy, so I'll ask him. This dude has the best leg kicks at heavyweight. A Thai-style fighter who got absolutely robbed. I think 3 or 2 fights ago, he got robbed, and I feel so bad. I feel so bad, because if he got the decision that he was meant to get in that fight, he would probably be on Dana White's Contender Series already, because he has a very good record. He would be 11-2 instead of 10-3, but either way, I think this guy is very, very good, and he still has potential to go to the UFC if he wants to, or wherever he wants to go, because the Swiss fighter just has monstrous leg kicks, fantastic fight IQ, and yeah, he's the best heavyweight leg kicker in the game right now, maybe outside of a Cyril Gane, or maybe it's Moreno Kyakhapur, number 1, who knows. Now next up, Nazer Al-Kabaz from Germany, 6-0 undefeated. The most impressive physique in mixed martial arts history. How was this guy even real? And then I realized, this man is a complete liar. He is not 6 feet tall. He's like 5'8 to 5'9. He is the Alir Latifi prototype of a heavyweight. As you're gonna see, the short, stocky, muscle hamster Al-Kabaz, balding and everything, surprisingly, is only 30 years old. He's only 30. Okay? It looks like he... Anyway, this guy hits so hard, man. He hits so hard. He's so small. I mean, he's not small. He's huge. He's more wide than he is tall. He's just so damn muscular. And he has just disgusting power for his size. When he was able to find those hammer fists, his opponent was out, man. He was out. And, Al-Kabaz is ultra impressive. So, a guy like this belongs on a lot of these guys, I'm like, hey, do this, get on Dana White's Contender Series. He belongs in there now. I'm making it my next video, which you might see after this. I assume people are watching this, like, day to day, maybe helping them fall asleep. But the next video will be booking Dana White's Contender Series. I would get this guy, man, because this is such an entertaining, different type of heavyweight specimen. A truly dynamic, hard-hitting, powerful, short king from Germany. I like this guy. I would never call this dude a short king to his face. He would probably knock me out. This dude's power is absolutely ridiculous. A Tyrannosaurus Rex in the body of a squirrel. Odie Delaney is one of the most inspiring and interesting dudes in mixed martial arts, and I'm not even sure if he's going to have another fight. The reason that I say that is because throughout his career he has been very inactive, and now he just took his first loss against Pavel Davydenko, who of course we're going to cover in a little bit once we get, really soon actually. But Odie did take a loss, and inactive guys who get finished for the first time, you don't always see them come back. But if he does, I just want to say, he is a grappling prodigy. His ground game is super good. There's not a lot of fighters coming out of Alaska. He is the only real dude coming out of there right now at heavyweight, and it's just like, man, this dude is a first responder. He survived an absolute tragedy. He has a really interesting life story. Give him a look. I hope we see Odie Delaney back in the cage, but who knows if we will. Odie Delaney, 5-1. The next fighter is Olzas Abzaliev out of Kazakhstan. A pretty interesting dude whose potential I'm going to probably put a little bit on the lower side, and I'm going to tell you why, but he's actually he's not bad. He's not bad at all. His cardio is really good. He's already has 5-round experience, which I find really awesome for a heavyweight. Now, obviously going 5 rounds at heavyweight is very impressive, right? Because your cardio is going to be taxed more than a wealthy man in Los Angeles, right? But on the feet, he was getting hit a lot, and Santos isn't the most high-level fighter. His boxing is okay, and his ground game and his ground control is good, but offensively, he's alright. But defensively, the dude was just getting popped with jabs, and I'm like, man, this is not going to work against a super high-level guy. And he also can't hold Santos down. He spent a lot of the later parts of this fight, I'm not going to say stalling, but just using, ground control and wall install tactics to kind of like time out a win. He had over 8 minutes of control time on the ground. I don't know if I don't think that counted the wall control time in this fight, but the dude was just like, man, his cardio's decent, by the way, because to go 5 rounds at heavyweight, I'll say it again, very impressive, decent cardio, but what can he do in those 25 minutes against a really tough opponent? That's what I kind of worry for. Olzas being the only fighter from Kazakhstan, that's really cool. It's really cool to see a Kazakhstani heavyweight. And the dude is built like a heavyweight. He's a natural heavyweight. He's a complete heavyweight. I just don't know how he's going to do if he ever has to fight a really physical, crazy guy. Like, we're seeing a lot of just berserkers on today's roster in this almost, I assume it's going to be about 3 hour long video. You know, you're going to see a lot of berserkers that just take people's heads off. Guys like this, I'm like, if you're not defensively sound, those tactics are not going to work. They're going to end up really, really bad. So I'm a little bit worried for Olzas in the future. But right now, he's going to dominate the Eurasian scene. But they're already running out of guys for him. Octagon, Nashidesi, Alash Pride. They're all knocking on your door. Give him an opportunity, see what it could do. Muscles on muscles on muscles, and acne on his eyeballs, because that's... the dude's juiced! Or maybe not, maybe he's... Nah, he's juiced. Bumps on his damn eyelids. Dude is the biggest, juiciest fighter in the world. This is Paul Elliott of England. It's hard for me to really comment much on Paul Elliott. He has super solid grappling, he hits very hard. But I'm telling you, this guy's gonna be in one championship the rest of his career, because... yeah, man, this dude is too juicy for UFC or even KSW, probably. Next up, one of the most UFC-ready fighters on the entire list. The experienced, the tested, the dominant, probably ranked as the top European heavyweight. It is Pavel Davydenko. Although on the feet, Davydenko is an absolute menace. It's on the ground where I think he really shines. Perhaps scarred from a loss to Shamil Gaziev. His submission defense has grown forcefully to be absolutely superb. As you can see, his opponent rolled for a leg. Davydenko masterfully reverses position and ends up in referee's position, landing some big shots. with the back control. Now, this fight ends up not even playing out on the feet. Dallideko was content to just use the advantageous position that he has right now and just put this dude away. He's looking for where he could get over the guard. Look at that half Nelson. So we have Nelson. That's cool too. Little half Nelson. And as you're going to see, this guy's going to try to roll into another submission, and Dallideko is going to absolutely punish him. He's very decent on the ground. He has good wrestling. I would say this guy, I'll get to his potential, which is going to be controversial probably. But you're going to see him absolutely just put this dude away right now. Just smashes him with some big old shots. The moment. You guys have been waiting for it. Alright, here it is. So, you know, Dubella was trying to just find a way to roll for a submission. And now that at this point, Dallideko is on top of him, rocking him with all these hooks. And Dubiela is going to fall, and Dallideko is going to land some even more massive shots as an Imanari roll is just completely and utterly punished by the one and the only Dallideko. Now, let's talk about potential. I think Pavel Davydenko would destroy the likes of a Rodrigo Nascimento, Marcos de Lima. I feel like he could probably make the UFC top 15. I mean, the guys that are in there now, they're getting better. But that old guard, it would get decimated by Davydenko. And I think that the UFC is probably I think a lot of these guys are very close to being like, hey, you know, we're right there. We're right on that level, which is awesome because the next generation we really need it. We need it now. I think this guy should go to the UFC right now. Main roster spot. Destroy like a Lucas Bresky or something. And just find a home for what remains of his already very impressive career. During the start to finish of this video, he fought Odie Delaney, finished Odie Delaney, and they were super impressive. Super impressive. I think Pavel is a fantastic, fantastic fighter. The man that I'm about to talk about also makes a good case for the best heavyweight prospect in the world. A former Olympic athlete who is awaiting his inevitable PFL debut. BJJ Monster Puya Ramani. Every single fight that he's had, no matter what type of fighter he was going against, Ramani just destroyed and dismantled them instantly with his BJJ. Fedorov gets choked out and absolutely destroyed. What I'm about to show you is one of the most impressive heavyweight performances of this year. Not this fight, but Puya's fight after this, the one that most likely got him signed into the PFL. I mean, there's people talking on forums that were just like, man, I cannot believe he just destroyed him like that. Because, you know, Puya is just a type of athlete we really don't see. A super, super skilled crossover BJJ fighter. We don't see those type of dudes in heavyweight. We haven't really seen one of them before, but now we have in Puya Ramani. Puya Ramani fighting a former ACA heavyweight champion. But for Puya, that is absolute child's play. A takedown, and the rest is history. A beautiful setup to the arm triangle. Super clean. I mean, he almost put himself in it like The Undertaker. Puya Ramani is an issue. He is a problem. It is good that he pulled out of the PFL tournament and is not going to be fighting Rodrigo Nascimento. That's good. Because what's going to happen is Puya is going to get a couple of tune-up fights and get even better. And then PFL's heavyweight division is in for an awakening. Puya Ramani wins the tournament. I mean, this dude he's on like the very short list of guys that could eventually fight Francis Ngannou. Let's just say that he wins next year's tournament, 2026 champion, fights Francis in 2027. That's a realistic timeline. That is a realistic timeline for Puya Ramani. This dude is murking everybody on the ground. Nobody is even close to having the ground game of Puya Ramani. I mean, at least not, maybe Aspinall and Almeida and Jones. But other than that, man, this guy's just so skilled. It's really scary to see him do that to a former ACA heavyweight champion who's never got dealt with like how he got dealt with. Like that. Like, damn. Potential PFL tournament winner, Tim Johnson and Alexander Romanov. Watch out, Puya Ramani is coming. Next up on the list is Przemysław Kowalczuk This guy is 6'4", 4-0, out of Poland, very explosive. Let's get into the game of Przemysław, the Ryzen fighter. Now, Przemysław is very, very explosive with his grappling, and he uses his wrestling to get all first-round finishes. That's his entire career, all 4-0 with first-round finishes. He's actually boxing this dude up, too. I mean, he didn't even really need to go to the ground. He was probably going to win on the feet. But once it goes to the ground, once Przemysław gets you there, man, it's over. Single leg trip was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's just crazy after watching Puya Ramani. I'm like, yeah, Puya Ramani. This guy's grappling's good, but, you know, I mean, Puya Ramani's an Olympian. But just look at Przemysław. He puts him away, smashes him on the effing ground, makes a mockery out of him, bashes his skull into a million fragments. And now Przemysław is signed to Ryzen. Due to injury, he missed the Ryzen Heavyweight Grand Prix, but I just hope that... Actually, the future looks really good. Because when Przemysław returns, I hope Ryzen keeps him, and he's going to be returning to a division that didn't have any depth before, and now it's like, damn, there are a lot of heavyweights in Ryzen. You got Ryan Bader, you got, you know, the rising Ed Polo King, you got a lot of dudes right now. Mikio Ueda, he just smoked Mikio Ueda in his last fight, Przemysław did. We need to see this guy back in the octagon, or the ring, perhaps, because we're in Ryzen. And yeah, I think this guy could do really good things. Has the potential to be a top Ryzen contender. Next up is one of the brightest prospects in the heavyweight division. At 5-0, the second youngest heavyweight prospect, Rafael Pergentino. He's 22 to 23. I can't find an exact date of birth. I think he's 22. This dude is a maniac with smart clinch work, and he forgets that he is a heavyweight. Next up, oh man, okay, Rafael. Bro, this dude is an effing maniac. Because I'm like, alright, let's fight like a heavyweight a little bit, right? This dude says, nope, I'm just gonna absolutely swing like Max Holloway and Gaethje with some random dude. I mean, like, what a phone booth fighter, man. What a phone booth fighter. And I love his work from the clinch. Those uppercuts were nasty. I mean, he landed a lot more. He landed every single shot in that clinch, besides the shot from the break. His opponent's coming forward, more Muay Thai. Yeah, shoots a double leg. But the dude is chaotic. He's chaotic on the feet, and I like that a lot. He swings, and he stands, and he bangs, and eventually Rafael finds the finish like he's about to do to this big boy over here. And yeah, a burst in the corner just puts this dude away. Cut was open. Swings like a maniac, man. Swings like a maniac. True definition of a berserker. And then whenever his opponent tries to do anything, he initiates the clinch, which is so smart. I like that a lot. And yeah, man, you can't take too many of those shots from Rafael. As you can see, his opponent was bloodied up pretty damn bad. That's what happens when you take a lot of strikes from a heavyweight. I just think that it's obvious. Sign this guy to LFA, Brazilian 5-0. LFA seems like a great option for him. I know he's young, so give him some time before we start giving him real hard fights, but I like it a lot, man. Nice work. I was very, very excited to see the fights of 12-1 Richard Biggis. Upon further examination, this dude is a complete fraud and a complete and utter can crusher.
He's a can crusher, breaking down walls like a wrecking ball. He's a can crusher. The man that he's fighting won't try at all. They call him the king of the...
I believe that this bout, his last fight where he went 12-1, was scripted. I think it was fraudulent. I don't know how this is not flagged by Tapology, but the entire promotion where Damir Ismagulov, Alash Pride is, it's bullshit. Look at this. The referee's already looking to stop it. And look, man, those little pitter-patter punches, he was fine, but the second the ref steps in, oh, he's out cold. He's out like light. He's asleep out of nowhere. Bullshit fighter, bullshit fights, fraud checked by a fat Japanese dude. I'm okay with taking, you know, your Tyler Porkchop fights, where it's guys that probably have such a minuscule chance to win the fight, but at least they're actually trying to win. That wasn't a fight. That was WWE bullshit, scripted entertainment. Hate it. Richard Biggis. Bro, I'm putting a hit on Richard Biggis' head right now. This goes out to all the MMA fighters watching. If you knock out Richard Biggis, PayPal you $5. Next, we have Richard Bychune, a 9-2 fighter from Australia, with a lot better of a resume than Brando Pedishek. But for whatever reason, this guy is going to be left on the regional scene while Brando gets to go to Dana White's Contender Series. I will say though, this guy's all right. He's pretty decent. He's a decent all-rounder. He doesn't have a city kickboxing level of striking or anything. No, don't get me wrong. Ricky is extremely impressive. It's just like, dude gets hit. Dude's got a titanium chin. Dude's got a body made of steel too, apparently. I mean, he just eats all these shots. But man, he does get hit. He really does get hit. He almost got guillotined. He's just durable, man. He's a survivor. He's a survivor, and he's durable. But, man, I don't know. Man. You can't be eating all these shots at heavyweight. It's not going to be good for you. You know, how many fights can you fight like this before you kind of get finished? Before somebody hurts you? Now, he's able to do it now in the Australian regional scene, having these absolute wars. I don't know what the potential of Ricky Bychune is, but I'm going to enjoy these absolute effing wars while they last. Hello everybody, my name is No Chill MMA, and I am about to present to you the most underrated heavyweight in the entire world. The most underrated heavyweight in the entire world. There is nobody more underrated than this man, the 10-0 Belarusian Roman Lukashev, 35 years old, the only opponent that he cannot destroy his time, because damn it Dana, get this man in the UFC now. He is so talented, so talented. That's Lawrence Phillips. Some were calling him the next Rampage Jackson. He was absolutely terrorizing one's heavyweight division with big slams and enormous moments. But Lukashev's grappling is just so sneaky, man. It's so sneaky and it's so good, and he can hit on the feet very hard too. Lawrence Phillips is like, what the fuck? This dude's taking my knee. And man, Lukashev is just a master on the ground. Mixed martial arts grappling is his specialty, with a solid presence on the feet as well. As you can see here, Phillips attempting to pass the guard. It is just not going to happen because he crosses his legs, and Lukashev unleashes that Jiu-Jitsu, and Roman just takes that leg, and Lawrence Phillips is going, no, dear God, no. But Roman says yes. And Lawrence Phillips is about to be in a world of hurt. And he doesn't look like it now, but he's about to be in a ton of mental anguish, as you're about to see. The slow, methodical jiu-jitsu of Roman Lukashev submission grappling, it pays off, as he is about to transition into a sick leg lock. I never said that he was the most flashy prospect, but I do think that overall his game is the most well-rounded, and his game is the best. And I hate that he's 35, and he has such a good career, undefeated 10-0. Bring this dude into the UFC. Look what he does to Lawrence Phillips, who is very good, by the way. Lawrence Phillips is, you know, very nasty. This dude was on a tear, a rampage in one championship. He's got that leg. Lawrence Phillips is like, what the fuck is about to happen? And Roman Lukashev shows him. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. At heavyweight too? Yeah, you gotta tap out. F that, man. Roman Lukashev. I'll tell you right now. The potential of Roman Lukashev has already been reached. He's already looking like a top heavyweight in the world. He just finished Geronimo dos Santos, the guy that knocked out Oleinik in bare knuckle boxing. I believe he's had another fight since then. Well, either way, he's advanced to 10-0, and he still doesn't have a major home. He has powerful grappling dominance. He's only fighting time, and he's legit the most slept on heavyweight fighter in the entire world. His last fight was against Kushan Tadolayev. Finished him in round 1. Geronimo dos Santos finished him in round 1. beat Lawrence Phillips. This guy is back. He's active. He's in UAE Warriors now, bouncing around, one championship, ACA. Somewhere, someone, give this man a title shot and answer the questions that we have about Roman Lukashev once and for all, as he is about to be 35 years old next year. Alright, so he's 34. 6'5", natural heavyweight. Give this man a damn fight. I want to see him active. I want to see him on top of the world. What a damn fighter he is. That methodical pressure grappling combined with, not bad footwork, not bad power. It spells trouble for a lot of people in the heavyweight division. I go from the most underrated to the biggest fraud. Ruben Magno Diaz. I believe this man made up his entire MMA career. 0 amateur fights, 3 pro fights. Every pro fight, he's the main event of the card. 2 of those fights, he is the only fight that takes place on the card. Both of his opponents never fight ever again. No footage of anything. That's suspect, right? Now this one is a shocker. This one's an absolute shocker. Get ready for this. Looking at this card, it's called Legend Fights, whatever, the legendary something fighter. So obviously it's a real card because there's lots of people on it. Ruben Diaz main event. Listen to this. I checked the profiles for every single one of those fighters. Okay? Every single one of those fighters. No social media links. And it was the only fight that they ever had. And there's no pictures of any of them. So then I was like, what the fuck? Did this guy make up an entire card? And none of them have ever fought again since that card. Ever. They all just disappeared into thin air. Okay? An entire card of fighters, including Ruben Diaz's opponent, all just disappeared into thin air after that card. So I'm like, alright, let me look at this this show that went down, because they have a Instagram page. So I'm like, alright, let me go look. Facebook and Instagram all have the same posts. And guess what? No footage from any of the fights posted. Absolutely nothing. Okay? Nothing. No footage of any of the fights. Nothing from any of these supposed fighters. And that logo looks like it was made for one of my YouTube thumbnails. And I can't make YouTube thumbnails for shit. But they did release one picture of an in real life media take of one fighter. And guess who it was? Signing that contract. Ruben Diaz. That's a conspiracy, if I ever saw one. Alright, that's all. Next up is Ruslan Abdullayev, a 5-0 undefeated heavyweight from Mother Russia at 29 years old. Now, this dude is explosive on the ground, but he takes risks and he's inactive. Now, what do I mean when I say this guy takes risks, but he has an explosive ground game? Well, you're about to see, because he takes care of this opponent very, very quickly. But I'm not sure if the way that he does it is going to be very sustainable. As you can see, head kick, gets caught, and guillotine attempt. He gets absolutely slammed down. But, I mean, he doesn't really get hurt from the slam. He stays in that guillotine position. His opponent ends up popping out his head. And very quickly, he finds a triangle. But I am really not the fan of getting taken down by this particular opponent. That shouldn't have happened. Whether you're comfortable on your back or not, he tossed you like a rag doll. Like, I like that triangle attempt too. I like when guys beat up the head with the triangle position. And he ended up getting the tap out. But I'm telling you right now, I think this guy is definitely, he's definitely alright. But I don't see or envision him ever challenging for like an ACA title. He's gonna go around the regional scene, taking wins and taking losses. If he's gonna be inactive, one of these days he's gonna take a fight, it's gonna be with the wrong dude, and he's gonna get finished. Next up on the list is Sebastian Nowak, the fattest fighter on here. And that is a compliment because he is very proud of his weight. But, I don't know. He's in Fame. Fame is pretty much like a freak show promotion. It's also called clout fighting, right? It just wants like the most freakiest things that will blow up. And good on that. But actual skill-wise, I don't know where Nowak is at. Like the cast at Fame is a weird bunch. He's not fighting the most, direly deserving of challenges for a 7-1 fighter. That is for sure. Let's take a look at what he is. Now, I know what you're seeing is an obese man chasing old obese man around the ring, landing pitter-patter shots, but look! I think he might actually have some heat-seeking missiles. I think he might actually hit really hard, I'm not even kidding. Yeah. The dude is a big, fat, sloppy brawler. Just like your mama! Oh! But, not a ton of technique on those shots, obviously. I don't know what the hell to make of him. Fame is a weird promotion. He's a weird guy in a weird promotion. He promised his fans that he would lose weight and he'd start taking fighting seriously, but he's yet to do so. But for some reason, I think he might have some unspoken fat boy strength. Because, I don't know, man. People don't usually drop from punches like that. Looks like he kind of hits hard. Next up, an undefeated 9-0 Russian fighter. That's a very good record. Let's check his Tapology.
He's a cane crusher, breaking down walls like a wrecking ball. He's a cane crusher. The man that he's fighting won't try at all. They call him.
What do you want me to say? He's never fought anybody with a winning record. His best win is 5-8, and that 5-8 guy ended his career, I think, 5-13 or 5-14. And everybody else was 0-0 making their debut. I don't even know if this fight is real. I don't care. These guys shouldn't. I just want to point out that he exists. If any of you guys want to book yourself against him, talk to your manager. Get him to sign the contract. Next up. Alright, his name's Saeed Mustafa Salahizadeh, a 3-0 Iranian who is a 2017 World Wrestling Champion placer. Uses his wrestling, uses his clinch work. He'd be pretty defensive. He picks his shot on the feet kind of well, but he's a little bit boring, especially compared to who is about to precede him or succeed him. Man, there's not necessarily a lot of fighters that I would consider boring on this list. But if there is one, it is him. Very boring fights. He's one of the unfortunately low-risk wrestling positional grinders. I don't like it. But I bet PFL will sign this guy. I bet they will. PFL have a thing for wrestlers who are high level. I mean, this guy was a placer in a pretty big tournament representing Iran. Why not give him a shot? It's not like he's a bad fighter. He's very dominant. It's just like, man, not super fun fights. Loves to hold position. Basically turns fights into a wrestling match a lot of the times. Not super fun. One of the hardest hitting fighters in the world. One of my personal favorites to watch. A super highly touted prospect. From, I would say a prodigy of Mr. Bing Bang Bosh, Mario Pinto, the one, the only, the Bangladeshi Francis Ngannou, Shah Kamali. Now his opponent the entire match was chasing and pressuring on with the grappling, but Shah Kamali did not let that happen. He trains in Thailand, learning those expert combinations. Look what he catches him with. It's so clean. That sneaky overhand right on the side of the head. I mean, damn, man. That is some high-level craft in mixed martial arts. That is an insane knockout. Let's get to another one. Highly touted English prospect Louis Sutherland had no answers to the fast, lightning-quick combinations of Shah Kamali. With insane power, just a jab and the follow-up shots on the ground were enough to shut the Englishman lights off. Shah Kamali is truly vicious, truly a monster, and can truly drop bombs. Bangladesh, you have a Francis Ngannou. Where do I think that he's going to go? Well, there's two rumors floating around. Okay? Now the first rumor is that the second rumor is BS, and he is set to fight another fighter on this list, Miha Frolik, which would be an insane fight because both of them are absolute power punchers. That is a banger. Now another rumor that I've heard is that he has already signed the Dana White's Contender Series and he's going to pull out of the Miha Frolik fight. Let's see. My eyes are open. I'm ready to find out what's next in the career of Shah Kamali. Next up is Turkey's 12-0 Shamil Erdogan, Now, Shamil Erdogan has ran through everyone at one championship at 205. He's ran through everybody almost at 225. He's in this weird position where it's like heavyweight is coming, and I think he fought a can at heavyweight and smashed him in his last one or something like that. I don't remember. But Shamil Erdogan is already destroying everybody, and it's just like he's not really a heavyweight, but he might go to heavyweight and challenge for that belt. One championship is really weird because 225 is considered light heavyweight, but on international standards that would be considered heavyweight. So he is a heavyweight by technicality, but it's a weird one. His talent level, I mean, he's an absolute monster. He's a destroyer. Erdogan just fights perfectly, man. His opponent had absolutely no shot because of all things that the grappling ace could have done. It was just a liver shot with the kick, which he was feeling for before. As you just saw, he was fishing for that liver shot. But look at that, almost like just a little teep to the liver, just shuts him down. And I'm like, damn, how good is this dude? How good is Shamil? It's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I don't know why I called him an expert grappler. I mean, he does use his kickboxing. He's a kickboxer. I don't know why I even said that, alright? I'm getting lots of fatigue from recording a 3.5 hour long video, but that's alright. Now, the potential of Shamil is a Anatoly Malikin type of deal. He just beat Aung Sung Long in less than a minute, beat a very experienced dude after that in less than a minute. It's like, damn, light heavyweight title, maybe another heavyweight title, maybe dude, this guy literally has triple champ potential. Now, if you wish for a full breakdown on Shamsukdin Makhmudov, I have a members video. I think it's This Week in MMA Week 2, detailing him defeating a former UFC champion. Not former UFC champion, former UFC fighter. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. No chill. Big Sham is a specimen. He's an absolute specimen, and I don't even know what to say, honestly. I figured out what makes him so good. It's the way that when he wrestles, he's super good at weight displacement. He knows that he's big, and he knows how to use his size to make you fall with trips and with like throws and stuff.
Think I had it. I'm gonna die. How can you die when you're dead? Oh, wait a second. I'm gonna be crucified, right? I'm not.
Anyway, next up on the list is Soon-Tae Choi. And I'm gonna be honest with you boys. This big Korean dude, he's 6'6", Korean. I'm just not feeling it. He barely scraped by a really short, fat dude who was just wrestling him. I just don't think I'm just not feeling it. Right, as you can see, Tiny Purple here has our boy, Toon Choi, up against the cage. Toon Choi towering over him, much stronger, much bigger, just not able to do anything. And this dude in the purple is not a heavyweight in any world. The dude, I'd probably weighed in at like 206. He probably weighed in at like 206. Man, just like, it's not a good look. Not a good look. This ain't no Ed Polo King. However, it is really cool that there are 2 Korean heavyweights on the rise right now. And let's just say this big guy does put it together. Korea is not a place where the tough fights are, so, you know, if he could start dominating these dudes, he'll definitely be something. And that was some nice clinch work. And, you know, he's strong. He's definitely strong. Rizin, Black Combat is where he's at right now. There's places in Korea where he could go. Korean Zombie has a promotion open. I don't think they got a heavyweight champion. We'll have to see what happens. Not a terrible fighter, but just not something that where I'm like, wow, this guy is, you know, gonna be on top of the world. There's just not much, like, he's just scraping by these really low-level guys. Now, the rest of the list is gonna go by very, very quick. And starting off, this is Stanislav. Let's get this last name. Kamilkovsky, 9-2 from Ukraine. He hits pretty hard. He opens super fast. However, I do think he's probably a little old to be a prospect. We'll see. Round 1 begins. Look how quick this man opens up and takes his opponent out of there. Dude is an eraser for sure. He has some power. He swings big. Casper could use some of this because this guy's not even that massive. But he swings like he is, and he swings definitely hard, and he swings with meaning, and he's not afraid to take risk on the feet. And he hit that spinning back fist. Dude is a wild man. Crazy brawl. You didn't even see what dropped him. But yeah, a little bit older, but, you know, lower level guys get smashed. Higher level guys, we haven't really seen that yet, and I don't know if we will necessarily. Potential, I'm gonna say probably gonna fizzle out. Let's see one of these younger dudes on the list fight this guy and beat him. That's what I want. But I mean, he's a super entertaining brawler, so who knows? Next up, the natural enemy of Hank the Tank. Next up, a good old American boy from Minnesota, the super tall ginger sniper Steve Asplund. This guy has had a crazy story. He's 5-1, only lost to Denzel Freeman. This dude used to be like 500 something pounds. He lost over 300 pounds to compete in mixed martial arts, and now he's kicking ass and taking names. Asplund as a fighter, he's very good. Probably future LFA champion, but I would say he's pretty easy to describe. He's very long, 6'5", got long legs, smaller torso, so he could use kicks. He's good at keeping range. He has big power, but he does have a little bit of a struggle on the ground so far. Raiden Kovacs had him in some bad positions. Denzel Freeman submitted him. However, he trains with Thomas Peterson and Alvin Guy Hind, and I think his wrestling game is going to catch up to the rest of his skills. Prediction, future LFA heavyweight champion Steve Asplund. That Minnesota team is carrying America. Great job from Concrete Steve. Now, a lot of people say that this guy is the best heavyweight prospect in the entire world. I don't know if I agree. I personally haven't seen enough. I know that he has good cardio. I know that he uses range well. You know, he has really good defense. He beat Kari Miller. I'm talking about the undefeated IMAFF champion and 1-0 pro Sultan Gapizov. Gapizov is very tall. He's a very tall heavyweight, probably about 6'5", and you know, he's very good at managing distance. And, you know, his grappling is fantastic as well. But he has not fought. That wheel kick was quite beautiful. If he could pull that off in a pro fight, that would be insane. But it's just like, the dude's been smashing other amateurs that are nowhere near his level. Kari Miller is a super impressive win, because he finished Kari Miller with punches. I really don't know how to judge Sultan Gapizov. I really don't know how to judge him. But what I do know is that right now, he's looking to be one of the top heavyweights in the world. Round 3 opens up. Team France in the blue does not stand a chance when Sultan Gapizov decides to put the pressure on. Those kicks are super long. His jabs come from far away. He's moving backwards. His defense is superb. But I don't know. I haven't seen so much of his offense so far where I'm like, oh my god, that's insane. Because some of his fights, he coasts a little bit. And I'm like, alright. I don't know. Do you want to be coasting, or do you want to be tearing through all these other amateur heavyweights? I don't know. But Sultan Gapizov is about to put this dude away with a very impressive combination. His hands move so fast, you don't even see it. Left cross knee, bodies him up against the cage. That's Sultan Gapizov. Next up, from Bahrain all the way to Russia, it is Tagir Abdulbekov. A undefeated, well no, he's not undefeated, he's 7-1 now as a pro. A very, very, very explosive fighter. And as you're gonna see, our boy Tagir is in the red corner on the left. And his opponent, giving him a hug. Man, he's gonna need that hug, because he makes mincemeat of this Shamil Abdurakhmanov ass ripoff or whatever. I mean, he makes absolute mincemeat of this dude. Very explosive fighter, but he does get caught sometimes, and you know, he's alright. He's definitely alright. But to this dude, he just, you know, a very strong starter with heavy output. I mean, the knees, he pushes him down, and he just wrecks him with the hammer fist overall as a fighter, he's already had some shortcomings. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But he's big, he's explosive, he's nasty, he's mean, he's got power. All I want to see is him keep taking fights. It's just crazy to me. It's like, damn, this type of guy gets beat. I think that heavyweight is actually really in a healthy position right now. This is just like thoughts I'm having. There are so many good fighters out right now. And he's been smashing dudes. Okay, he lost his first fight. Since then, undefeated. So 6-fight win streak, or 7-fight win streak for the 6'3" heavyweight Tagir Abdulbekov, 28 years old. Open Fighting Championship champion, good cardio. I mean, he can't always beat guys like that. Like, you know, the lower level dudes, they get smashed. But it's very possible that Tagir runs into a guy that kind of just like, I don't know, beats him on the feet. That could definitely happen, but we'll see. We'll see. ACA is calling him, or maybe he could just bounce around these Eurasian promotions like a lot of these fighters probably are going to end up doing. Next up is America's Trevor Wallace. I mean, this guy probably 8-4, 34. He just the reason I'm putting him on this list is because he is a wild-ass brawler, and I could see him going to the PFL, doing some awesome stuff in like a Game Bread or even Diddy Boxing. Could be cool for Trevor Wallace. I still think he could count as a prospect. Next up is Vladimir Dineko. Now, Dineko's last fight in LFA was very interesting because although he had good technique and pretty decent power, he just looked like slow. And I feel like eventually somebody could cut him off to the punch and figure him out. Another reason, although he's a great fighter, pretty well rounded, and you know, just a little bit slower pace, he has an enormous head. And I'm not kidding, I'm detracting points for his head size because it's going to be a lot easier to catch, especially at this weight division. Somebody's going to catch that giant ass head. Like I said, he is a slower pace, hard-hitting technical striker, and I think eventually one of our LFA guys is going to catch him, whether that be Denzel Freeman or somebody else. LFA is nice, man. They got a deep roster. Very nice roster of heavyweights. And even this little fat dude was kind of hitting him with some punches. So that's why I'm not sure where Dineko is going to land in this world of MMA. But his power is not questionable. It's very, very, very big. And it gives us moments like this. Next up, second to last, 6'4", 3-0 American heavyweight Vaughn Simmons. This dude is very good. He has a really nice Superman jab, and the only detraction is I like wild brawlers, but he's too wild. The dude is getting hit a lot. I'm gonna be a little bit harsh here. He had a pretty close and back and forth fight with Christian Leroy Dunkin' Donuts in Cage Warriors, and I don't like that. I don't think it's a good sign. There was moments when Christian Leroy Dunkin' Donuts was dictating the pace of the fight, and I'm just like, Vaughn Simmons, you're way bigger than this guy. You should have his head off. But I think maybe he doesn't know how to move his mass yet. You can see how sweaty he is. He's greased up. Dude has to get some better cardio, get some better defense, and then we're gonna start talking big things for Vaughn Simmons. But I do think he needs to clean it up a little bit. The head movement was pretty nice though, but this dude should have been out of there. Should have been out of there. Lastly, yes, lastly, this is the last one from Cameroon, 5-2, Xavier Lassau. Xavier Lassau has some great BJJ defense, and I like the way that he uses his length, his arms, you know, the reach is very, very well displayed, and the way that he kind of like connects just on like the fit, like a couple of guys do that. They're learning how to do that. They have long ass arms and they just stay so far behind them. You could tell I'm struggling. This is the last one, but I got it, boys. Let's reel it in. He stays very far back. He tries to keep his head very far back. He pushes his opponent away. He doesn't want to let his opponent land anything on him. And he just lets his hands go so far before his head. I love it. I love when guys strike like that. It's so smart. People don't do it enough. And eventually he gets taken down, right? He's trying to get the fucking top of the cage. to get out of there. But yeah, this dude can swing. This dude's got a judo toss. He's well-rounded, but just a little wild still. This is where that BJJ defense came in. Triangle with the armbar was there, but Xavier LaSalle managed to get his way, finagle his way out of that, you know, scramble into half guard, well, into full guard, and then he beat him up and eventually cinched in a guillotine. PFL Africa calling his name. What a performance from Xavier LaSalle. Very good fighter. 5-2, probably gonna win a couple more. Great guy. Great job. Great fights. My lord, what a damn list. Oh my god. The amount of time, energy, and effort I put into that was so substantial. I didn't expect it to be this long, man. I expected an hour-long video. This is 3.5 hours, almost. What do I even say, man? If you appreciate this type of content, you gotta let me know, because I expect this to maybe get 100 views and not do very good. And that's alright, but the amount of time that I put into this is just insane. It was just insane. So if you do like prospect videos, if you do like finding out who the next generation of fighters are, getting their skill sets broken down, making a man torture himself, watching Arselon Biblob's fights, or whatever the hell his name was, then I'm the guy for you. Please subscribe for more. We're going to be doing a lot of really cool content, way different than this, but MMA content that you're going to enjoy. I have no idea how to end this massive marathon of a video. Maybe my boy Josh Hockett could help me out.
And P.S. Michelle Obama is a man.
Did you really think I wouldn't have an honorable mentions list? Okay, first off, Guilherme Pot. Guilherme Pot and Guilherme Uriel, I think they're being brought in to lose on Dana White's Contender Series. Josh Hockett got one of them. Maybe Alvin Hines will get the other. They're okay LFA fighters, but I mean, and they got finishing ability, so if they do win, it will be entertaining. But they also are both like a little bit sloppy. Lucas Armand, do or die Lucas Armand, very good fighter. About to fight Lawrence Phillips. It's going to be a firefight. He is in the American regional scene, just getting started, and that's Zusmo Zaralayev. He is, I think, around 295. He has a lot of trouble cutting down to heavyweight. Missed weight in ACA in his last one. Thank you guys for watching. That's all the soul I have. Hope you guys enjoyed, learned a thing or two. This has been No Chill MMA. Please like, subscribe, and show these heavyweight fighters some love. Let's make heavyweight MMA great again. God bless you. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And thank you for choosing No Chill MMA.